Hello, freaks. How's it going? Well, we're starting out the month. We had a show last night. I don't really know how to explain it. It was the absolute worst night we've had in a year, So I don't know. We talked about having a good start to the month, and it really turned out where it was, I don't know. It was weird. It was weird. Don't know what happened. But hey, we're doing another show tonight, and if you guys have the ability to help support the channel and try to get back on track, that would be great. All right. Now, during the show yesterday, I was talking about. I'm going to go over this part first, and then we'll do Nancy Guthrie. They would probably just do a reset on that. It's been we haven't covered it for weeks, and it's already 3 months. Doesn't it seem like it's been a year? Hello, Sazef, Tori, Alley Cake. Huh? And now, what do you mean, happy I'm back? What do you mean, did I go somewhere? But let's try to get the support for the channel going tonight. Last night, the channel brought in, I think, $28. And if you multiply 28 times 30, that's like $700 for a month. And you can't donate $4,000. So I don't know what the deal was there. It was just really strange, very odd, bizarre showing last night. And you guys know that the channel relies on you guys. And as you can see, since January of 2020, we've donated from the channel's income $295,112. So that's in about 6.5 years, which is pretty phenomenal if you really think about it. And it's just doing show after show, getting support from the people watching, and ad revenue. I'm trying to make more videos, etc. Well, it doesn't. I know people want to say economy, but it's other channels have people supporting them, and I think there's people in here that have the ability to. And if you can't, you just can't. That's the thing is if you can't afford to support my channel, do not send in a nickel, okay? If you can, though, I would appreciate it. So thank you, Says F and Cheryl Bullock. Nobody needs to hear the story about how like people always seem to want to type in, and it's like I'm not saying that. I'm really just saying if you have the ability to, that would be great. All right, so the thing I was going to bring up on this video, it was we talked about it, but I want to make sure everybody sees this because it's so important for all the videos that we have out there, cases that we cover that have surveillance footage. Yeah, but we can't even, like if it was the same thing last night, we wouldn't be able to do that, Lucy. You get what I'm saying? Like it would be impossible to donate. I mean, the channel would only bring in $700 and something. That's how bad it was. All right, and we're already way behind for the month, sadly. Anyways, so we, lots of cases out there have surveillance footage, And I'm gonna make this full so you can see it right there. Let me make sure even the bottom. All right, there we go. It's weird how it's small like that. And then this is bigger. It's got two different sizes on there on the one video that they put out there. Okay, so we gotta go back to here. Yeah, right here. So when this guy runs through, and then he fires right then. Like right when that gun, like right there, he's firing. And then, like almost simultaneously, the officer fires too. So they're kind of combined, but you can actually make out his shot. But that's not what I'm talking about. See, right now when that officer fired, I would say 1 frame later that bullet would be hitting the wall right there. Right? But it isn't. So we're already 1 frame after the fire, right? Then we go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 20. Yeah, so it's actually more than 13 frames. So it's almost a second later. You see how now there's this artifact in the wall there, and that's because that is where the bullet hit. Because every single frame after has that there. In fact, even if you go to here, watch, you can see it. It's right there. The dot there. See? So that bullet was created when that gun was fired. It's not like there's no chance that a bullet, even if it ricocheted, wouldn't take a second to hit a wall. And if it did at that speed, it wouldn't even enter the wall. All right? And so I've been working with video for a long time, and I know that there's like a predictive in some of the codecs out there that it sort of predicts different things on different areas of the video and to save file size, and won't update in the video itself things that aren't moving. All right? So isn't that crazy right there? Yeah. So here we go. Here we go. No, we don't need to do anything, Timmy. You can sit there and say, I like it. I do. I want to keep being able to do what we do on this channel. All right. So if there's people out there that have the ability to support it, then great. If you're one of the people that don't give a shit about that aspect of it and you just want to be entertained, then this isn't probably the place for you. All right. Yeah, we got the Troll Central tonight, you guys. Troll Central. They're all coming in from everywhere, all right? And this is how they keep people from supporting the channel, by the way. They actually attack the people that support my channel. They get a hold of them in emails. They say, hey, why are you supporting that gray guy? Ooh. These people are sick, all right? Yeah, you tell me just to ignore them, but they're right there, you know. But yes, you're probably right. All right, but anyway, see, there's the artifact right there. Now let me read this to you, and let me know what you think about this. It says, yes, a hole in a wall. This is a AI response, but they get their information out there. Or a similar static change can fail to appear immediately in a surveillance video due to how codecs, compression algorithms, and background modeling work. See how this is really interesting. If you actually are interested in knowing things, then listen to this. This phenomenon occurs because surveillance systems prioritize saving storage space by only fully updating the image periodically. So that means, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but when you scroll through a video and you're really zoomed in, sometimes pixels aren't moving at all. So that means it wasn't even updated at that moment. That means that whole frame, part of it, if there's no movement, didn't update at all. So it just means it fully updates the image periodically. All right, and then it says surveillance cameras use iframes and p-frames to reduce data size. And then it tells you right here what those are. Iframes, full images sent periodically. And so the full image of the background, for example, is sent 1 to 2 seconds. And the p-frames, these only record changes from the previous frame, like a person moving. So that's what's interesting. It kind of combines the two. It has the full image, and then if there's movement, then it puts that in there. Why did you do that, Sandy? Just leave it the way it was. And it says, if a hole is made, but the area is otherwise static. So listen to how this works right here. That one scene that I'm telling you about. It says, if a hole is made, but the area is otherwise static, meaning it's just a wall, it doesn't move, the codec might not register the new hole as a change needing an update until the next full iframe is sent. So then it takes a real frame and goes, oh, okay, there is something there now. We got to add that. If the camera is set to a long iframe interval, the hole might not appear for several seconds or even minutes. I mean, that's pretty amazing, right? I mean, then it says background modeling. Many surveillance cameras use an algorithm to define the background. If the camera assumes the wall is static, thank you, Allie K, it may not immediately update its background model to include the new hole, treating it as noise or ignoring it until the model refreshes. Low bitrate settings, higher compression, lower quality can lead to blurring. Yeah, whatever. The part that we wanted to know about was the upper. This whole thing right here absolutely explains that. See that bullet right there? Let's just look. I mean, it's interesting if we go right up into there. Let's see what happens. Let me see if I play it. Hold on. Yeah, so it might be registering the change up in that area, but here the wall is just absolutely a static thing. And it doesn't add the hole until it updates the iframe again. And so that's why it doesn't show up. It would have shown up immediately after, you know, like literally within one frame of the bullet being fired. All right, there you go. So that is that information. Hey, thanks, Wild Bill Wassman. Okay, now we're going to open up the... Did that make sense to everybody? I just want to make sure, because we seem to have very little communication going on in the chat these days, so it's hard to know. Ah, jeez. Okay, we got to open that back up again. Now we're switching over to Nancy Guthrie stuff. All right, hold on a second. Yeah, there's Wild Bill, everybody. He's been hanging out in the hospital for a while, getting his electrolytes back up. Are you still, oh, you're still in there, huh? Yeah. All right, so we have this, just have this up already. So I thought it might be interesting to go back in time, you know, kind of look around. What were we reading about at the very beginning of this? You know, like I remember, like I have these folders are all dated. Let's see what this one said. Yeah, this is February 4th. And this happened on, what was it, February 1st? Is that right? Let's see, cops and, let's see, said on Tuesday that they had turned the 1 million Adobe style house back over. Isn't that crazy? Now that you think about it now, it's like February 4th, they've already turned it back over. And then I think that's when they changed course at that point. Let's see what this looks like. It's a pretty good shot of the back there. I like that. Hold on. I don't really see that too often. That clear. Got that. I just want to have a copy of that. But hey guys, if you're out there, if we could do like a challenge or something, we just got to get going. Yesterday was so poor and we need to make some headway on that. So if you guys have the ability to, that would be great. Alright, we got that. What do these other things say? Oops. Is it that one? Figure out where my... Getting kind of cluttered in here. Got a bunch of windows open. Okay, that goes over here. Don't know what happened to that. Hey, thanks again, Wild Bill Wassman. Okay, I don't know what... I lost my screen control for a second. How do I get an article to you? You sent an email. What's it an article about? There's some weird articles that have been coming out by like Hindu Times, you know. They just had this crazy thing that they posted, and they were sort of like Daily Mail. Now they're becoming just conspiracy theorists. I mean, throwing out stuff that's just absolutely not true at all. Where is that one? From like a couple days ago. Maybe that's it. BI Nancy Guthrie update. Is it this one? No. You know what's weird is they keep quoting the same people. Now they're even quoting like a YouTuber. That's crazy. Yeah, what's this one right here?
Hi, Grant, and hi, everyone.
Yeah, look at this. Nancy Guthrie's personal belongings found. This is totally bogus, right?
Waving hand emoji.
Hey, thanks, Sunshine. Said, while Nancy Guthrie remained missing, investigators involved in her kidnapping have discovered potentially groundbreaking new evidence that may significantly alter the course of the probe. Investigators working on the case of Nancy Guthrie's disappearance have probably acquired a wealth of information. It says, I think that where was the part about watch? See, it looks like they've changed. They have all this bogus crap in there, and they got rid of it. Well, that's good. I think. They were saying that they found her watch and things somewhere. It's crazy, man. I know, isn't that amazing, Brody? Did you see that same article? They've changed it, though, obviously. Hey, thank you very much, Skeeter. Very cool. Thank you, guys. I'm trying to get back on track here. Oh, my wife always calls right at the same time. Yeah, I had to buy this powder because a couple of our dogs have been eating the other dog's poop. I was just telling her. So I have this powder that you dump on there. So when they eat it, then they go to the bathroom. The other dogs don't want to eat it. It's like, Jesus, what are you doing? There's stuff that tastes better than that, you know. Hello, Karen. How's it going? Well, here's just a Parade magazine from today. After we do this, then maybe, I don't know, would you guys be interested? I mean, I don't know. I was thinking about doing, we've done it before, but it was months ago, some of the press conferences. Those are, you know, every time I listen to them, you get something new that you missed originally. But I don't know if you guys are interested in that. But recently, News 4 Tucson published footage and stills from a Ring camera in the Catalina Foothills neighborhood, not far away from Nancy's home. A masked thief is shown on the video footage wearing gloves and a baseball cap and stealing potted cacti from the driveway. This video was taken at approximately 11 p.m. on Wednesday, April 29th. According to the neighbor, who wanted to remain anonymous, but posted the clip to the Ring app, the suspect drove a gray Ford F-150.
Well, new Ring camera video from a Catalina Foothills home just blocks away from Nancy Guthrie's neighborhood, making the rounds online tonight. Causing some concern tonight.
Likely it's a neighbor's Foothill mask on private property is raising some surprise with a neighbor I spoke with.
Why is it so blurry?
This neighbor who posted, so take a look, the neighbor who posted the video from last night wants to remain anonymous, we should say, but says that the video shows a gray Ford F.
Okay, I would bet you money that this is not the person. Oh, we got a challenge. Hey, all right. Well, there you go, you guys. If you send in 5 coffees, or whatever, not coffees, 5 channel memberships, then Marty's Bar and Grill will jump in with some coffees there. Thank you.
F-150 pulling into their driveway just before 11. Moments later, a man wearing gloves, a face mask, and a baseball cap gets out of the truck, walks toward the front of the home, and begins...
Oh, did you see the way he bent over, you guys? Did you see the way he bent over? It looked just like the way the other guy bent over. Wow, let's take a look at that. Ooh, 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 ooh. Did you see that? Look, watch when he goes, the plant. Look, look at that. He bends over to grab a plant, and it looks just like this guy when he bends over. Look at that. He went forward with the left leg, and etc. Look at that. He stepped forward with oh my God, we're on to something. Who knows? Yeah, I don't know, man. I just don't think that some guy that killed a bunch, like not killed, but like abducted Nancy Guthrie is going to go back and start stealing plants in the same neighborhood. I don't know. It's just a guess, you know? I know it's not really... I don't know. What do you guys think of that? That just doesn't sound very likely to, All right.
Toward the front of the home and begins loading several potted cacti into the bed of the pickup.
That's right, that's right. And how does he connect to Nancy Guthrie other than being another person that's caught on surveillance footage?
The homeowner later posted the video to the Ring app, where it quickly started...
Forget it. Jesus. I just, man, I don't have time for that kind of stuff. You know, and guess what? It really, it could be the person. It's just, like, we're not going to get any... You just saw the video. There's not anything that's going to make us go, oh my God, you guys, that's him. Look at, call it in. It's just, we could spend, you know, people like to... They'll do an entire show on that surveillance footage right there. And I don't know how to do that. All right. And we're going to go back in time now. And I think I'm going to make some animations on this case with characters moving and like the guy walking around. Do you think that would be interesting for people? You know how I had the ball, but I think it'd be better like if I had a little character moving around and then goes over to, you know, the different areas. It's hard to make somebody climb over something or something like that, but thank you, Marty. Are we still short? Oh, we need one more gifted memberships, you guys. I thought you guys had that nailed. So we need one more gifted membership up there. There we go. That's Wild Bill again. Yeah, how about we have some other people? You know, we gotta get the ball rolling here. See, my channel's different than the other ones. We actually make an effort to donate thousands of dollars every single month. Now, I know for some people, you know, if you can't afford it, you just being here, hitting the like button and all that's great. But if you can and want to, because you like to, you know, be part of what we do every single month and allowing my channel to survive, then that would be great. That nobody's required to do anything. All right, let me go way out here, get over to the correct place. Right there. I think Google Earth is just so great to have, you know. And I know I have all of the press conferences in here. Maybe we could start off with that. Just kind of like from the beginning. I think I have them all in one document. Or one file. Let's see, what is it? Is it this one? Might be this one. I have some other ones.
We'll get started.
I have some other ones too where he's just kind of, you know, he's talking outside to different people. It might be these ones. Yeah, so are these all in here? Let's see. Let me just skip through it. Yeah, so I definitely have these other ones here too, like this one.
Talk about this DNA case, the glove found. First of all, there's no glove found at that house, no glove found near that property. A glove a few days ago was found within about 2 miles of the house.
Yeah, so that's one of his, one of the videos. 1, 2, 3. Okay. There's one that he does outside early on. I think I have that somewhere, but in the meantime, I guess we can just play the this one that had all of them?
We'll get started. I believe it was around noon yesterday. We got a call to the Guthrie residence that Nancy Guthrie, 84 years old, was missing. We expended a lot of resources for a missing person that we typically always do. Our search and rescue volunteers, our search and rescue teams, other agencies, Borstar from Border Patrol sent their canines out. They worked tirelessly all day yesterday and all day tonight. I'm sorry.
See, he didn't bother me at all at the beginning. He just seemed like a normal person. Yeah, but that map's been out for a long time, Karen. Yeah, I saw the map, but she put that out there a long time ago. That's the same map that we've seen for months.
All day yesterday, all last night. To no avail. As I said yesterday, we saw some things.
I mean, didn't you guys saw the map a long time ago, right? Like this is the map right here that people are talking about. Oh, look at this map. This one is old. Like this has been like out since the basically it seems like the first 2 weeks of the case. This map right here. Well, no, I'm saying people are talking about it now as if it's new. I noticed that. Not really sure, but right now, you guys, we're at 1/4 of the nightly goal. So if we can, I just want to try to get to the goal tonight for sure, because yesterday was a disaster. So let's see if we can do that.
The home that were concerning to us, we believe now, after we process that crime scene, that we do in fact have a crime scene, that we do in fact have a crime, and we're asking the community's help. This community has always stepped up to help us solve some pretty tough crimes. I'm looking for that again.
No, it's not similar. It's the same.
This is
it's the same.
84-year-old lady who suffers from some physical ailments, has some physical challenges, is in need of medication. Medication that if she doesn't have in 24 hours, it could be fatal. So we make a plea to anyone who knows anything about this, who has seen something.
Oh, shoot, that was the... Oops. Okay. That didn't work good. Hold on. Shit.
We'll get started.
Is there?
I am here to take any questions you may have. It will be a little limited throughout the community. Anything, everything. And we will download all that data we have from the home, from different pieces of technology we've gotten, and we will use that to our advantage. But the reason I bring this up is that, you know, I'm a cop. I hate politics, but I have to remind our political leaders that they need to quit this banter of every time law enforcement leaders come to you for a need, that you give up these ridiculous remarks about how it's going to be misused. AI is a bad, evil word. The cameras are very bad and evil. I'm tired of that. Those tools in the right hands with the right minds and the right approaches are extremely valuable to solving crimes just like this. We need this. We need more staffing. We need a lot of things. But what I really need is I need the community's help with this. So I want to make sure before I take any questions, it is a crime scene. We know that. She needs her daily medication. And anybody that sees anything that even looks, hey, maybe that's her, just take a quick picture. Take a video, send it to us. The number is real easy here locally. It's 911. You can contact our 88 Crime and remain anonymous. You can call me, anybody. I am here to take any questions you may have. It will be a little limited. I apologize for
I
that.
just want, like, the questions are where you get most of the answers.
But we do have he and his team.
Wow, but is there any?
He and his team
let's do it right here.
are working as hard as they can.
Is there anybody else associated with her, a caregiver, family member, acquaintance, who is also missing in somebody?
No. The family, all of the family has been very cooperative with us. They're working with us. They're staying in touch with us. They have complete access to anybody on this department. Savannah has been in touch with us as well. Our hearts go out to them. This is their mom. She's, just a great lady, from what I've heard, and I feel for the family. We just want to find her and bring her back safe.
Sheriff, you mentioned that she didn't just walk out, but is there any additional information that you can give us on what may have alluded to this being a crime scene?
I wish I could. I really do. I know that everybody wants to know certain things, but I can't do that it would be inappropriate at this time.
Are there signs of breaking and entering or any forced entry, anything like that?
I again don't want to get into that. David, can you see anything here?
No, 911 was called. I mean, at least that's how it's, I don't know. Let me look. Let me play this and I'll go look it up.
At this time, it's still a very active investigation. There were circumstances on scene that we believe are suspicious in nature, I think is the best way to put it. But we can't really get into a whole lot of details with that.
Do you believe that this was targeted, or they just happened to hit Savannah Guthrie's mom, or if this was just random?
We don't know that. We don't. We look at all of that, but we just don't know that.
Do they have cameras in the home?
They do, and we're looking through some of that. Yeah.
With this being an active crime scene, is there any threat to the general public?
I'm trying to figure out my phone. Well, no, I don't think there's an active threat, but I hate to say that because, we're going to canvass that neighborhood, and maybe there's a prowler been seen around. There's a lot of work still to do. We don't have any indication that that the public is in danger.
And what does that search look like today beyond what you've already told us about last night?
So we have shut down our search and rescue mission, and we've sent them home to rest. They were out all night. Look, we put all our air assets into this, our drone systems, our aircraft, our helicopters, heat sensors, infrared, everything we've thrown at this. They're going to step aside. We'll call them out again if we need to do more searching. But right now, we don't see this as a search mission as much as we do a crime scene.
Sheriff, can you tell us a little bit about that map?
That is, and David probably can better answer it than I, but that is our search patterns, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
So with all the assets that we deployed yesterday with the search and rescue teams, the map that's on the screen is basically tracks that were followed. Those are all, the colored lines are all ground tracks of different teams and different assets that were used on the ground, to include the canines, the volunteers, and our own search and rescue team. The circles are going to be representative, if not necessarily perfect, of our air circulation with both our helicopter and our fixed wing aircraft at night, working with the night time cameras. So difficult to see where the house is. This house is basically pretty close to center in that, and then all of the searching that went on throughout the day with those folks out there on the ground.
What this really helps with is our search teams, when they come back and reassess, maybe they've missed an area, we can look at it and say, hey, you know what, this area could use a little more coverage, and so they concentrate again. Our search and rescue team is top notch. They're out every single day. If it's not a lost person, it's a hiker, it's somebody who's wandered away from a care home, whatever it may be. I want to stress to you, and it is really important, Miss Guthrie, Nancy Guthrie, is of great sound mind. This is not a dementia related. She is as sharp as a tack. The family wants everybody to know this isn't somebody who just wandered off. Her physical limits are based on just age, and we get old, and so it's more physical. But clearly, she is as sharp as a tack.
Do you have her cell phone, and does that present any tracking potential?
We're looking at that as we speak.
If you have it, or
we do have it.
Can you give us a little bit more of a timeline? Because you said she didn't leave on her own. She was last seen at 9:45. She wasn't reported missing until noon. But
I believe what happened there was at 9:45 in the evening, her children left her off. At some time earlier that morning, they got a call from somebody at the church who said, "Hey, your mom's not here." The family went to the house. I'm thinking they spent some time looking for her themselves before they called us. So I'm guessing maybe they got there around 11. So they did some searching and realized we need some help, and they called me.
Hey, Alley Cake's trying for a wave, everybody.
Do you have any idea what time Nancy would have been taken from the home?
There's a lot of things working there, and I just can't say that right now.
Has Savannah Guthrie, has she had any threats to herself?
We've spoken to her. We'll continue to work with that. She has this.
Now, so right there in here, it says that she called 911 at 12:03. So it wasn't. She didn't call the sheriff's office, right? But that hasn't been presented yet in these in the press conferences.
Security team that's been in touch with us throughout the night, but we're not going to dismiss any angles for sure. But right now, immediately, we don't know of anything like that.
Is she in town or on the way here?
She's here.
Can you give us any more? What should somebody be looking for? Because when I was out in the neighborhood, the neighbors are obviously incredibly concerned. But is there anything, a tip? I mean, one neighbor stopped me and he didn't know if he should call you or not.
How you feeling, Marty?
Oh my goodness!
But so what should somebody be looking?
Well, first of all, I'd ask them go through their cameras, go through their Ring cameras, whatever cameras they may have. Don't dismiss it that we really can't see the house. They still might see something. Maybe it's somebody walking by. Maybe it's a vehicle driving by at that time of day. But go through all your cameras in that neighborhood and tell us if you see something. Maybe somebody already. We know this happens, right? Oh, I saw something suspicious, but I didn't think it was worth calling in, so I didn't call it in. Well, now it's suspicious. Call in anything you've seen or heard. Maybe it's a neighbor telling you, I saw this or I heard that. Call us. Don't tell the neighbor to call us. Tell the neighbor to call us, but you call us as well. We'll put it together. We'll get, trust me, I'm sure we're going to get inundated with a lot of calls. We'll handle that.
Did she live alone?
I believe, yes, she did, yeah.
Were there any caregivers you're normally associated with her?
Well, she has house staff that comes by, takes care of the yard, whatever, in her house and that. But those people we'll be talking with that have talked to some of them already.
But nobody who's like a live-in or anything?
Nobody actually lives with her, no. Like I say, she's of great sound mind, and she is mobile. It's just
everybody fits in the mask. Jocko. It took me 5 minutes to find someone that fits in that mask. That's ridiculous.
Just, it's a challenge for her to get, as the family says, she couldn't walk 50 yards by herself. So.
What else?
Somebody asked about the FBI.
I'm sorry.
Somebody asked about the FBI if they're involved.
Like I said, we work closely with all of our partners, whether they're the FBI, ATF, ICE, whoever. We know that they have certain capabilities and certain resources, just as we have certain capabilities and resources. So yes, we'll continue to to work with them, and they've offered assistance to us. We accept that assistance, and we offer assistance. But just last week, the FBI called us to handle a shooting that involved Border Patrol. You need to know that. That's just day-to-day routine work for the law enforcement in Pima County in Tucson. We work very closely with our partners.
With the amount of time that's gone by, how wide do you cast in the net? Statewide, national?
Well, yes, national for sure. I'm hoping the national media's picked up on this. We've gotten a lot of reports, but statewide as well, with Amber Alerts, things like that. All of those things we use. Every tool we have, we will use.
Very good.
You guys are too easy. Thank you so much. I apologize for being late. I apologize for my political rhetoric of the Board of Supervisors or the City Council. I just get so frustrated, and we just can't do this job without their support. We don't need political statements from the dais and mumbo jumbo. We need them to listen to their law enforcement leaders and really.
So thanks up there to Alley Cake and Karen and Alley Cake again, or not Alley Cake again, it was Wild Bill Wassman with the bass and Skeeters. And we got Lisa Belson. Hey, shows up 8 months. Says, love you, Gray and Freaks. Hey, love you too.
Pay attention to the fact that we understand that there's a great potential for abuses in today's world with the technology that's available to us. But you have to, at some point in time, have some faith and trust in your leadership in the law enforcement community to know and understand that we too were.
Wow, thanks, Lisa Belson. Very kind, very kind. Brody let everybody know that he was back, and when he left, everybody was waiting. We weren't even doing a show when you were gone, and when you came back, oh, thank God, Brody's back, everybody. Hey, thanks, Lisa Belson. Yeah, very kind. Look at that, 10 gifted memberships.
Elected here to provide a service to our community. I can't think of a community in this planet that wouldn't tell you, number one is public safety. Everybody just wants to be able to know that they can go outside and enjoy their community and come home and be safe at night in their rooms, asleep in bed. And this lady wasn't able to accomplish that. That's a sad statement. We need her back. We need to find her.
Yeah, we got 38 months by Lisa Valenzuela.
And time is very critical.
Thank you.
She is 84. She needs her meds. Her family needs her too. Thank you so much for being here.
Doesn't have David say his first and last name and spelling it.
Oh, sure. My name is Sergeant David, common spelling D-A-V-I-D, Stivers, S-T-I-V as in Victor, E-R-S.
So what's your title?
Sergeant.
Sorry.
Great. Thank you, guys. And if we get more as things develop, we'll call you back.
Hey, look at that. Lisa Belson just did a 5 for 5 freak challenge. Very cool. Let's see if we can do that. So I think another press conference is coming up here.
I hope I talk loud.
So that means if 5 people do a $5 gifted membership or just $5 super chat, then she'll do 5 all by herself.
Thank you, Sheriff.
All right, so that one's done. Now we're moving on to the next one, the second one. This one had some new information.
At least 10. If you need a better copy.
There's John. Good morning. I don't know that everybody knows who's here. Of course, I'm Sheriff Chris Nattles. John Edwards is the Tucson chief here for the FBI, and he'll have some words for you as well. You know, this is really, for me, pretty new. All the media.
Well, thanks for saying that, Lisa. All right, but we need 4 more gifted memberships up there, you guys, to reach Lisa Belson's challenge.
So I apologize to you for sometimes I'm speaking in generalities, and I'm not used to everybody hanging on to my words and then trying to hold me accountable for what I say, but I understand. So we're going to try our best to be succinct with you in the future, and also more important for you to understand is we have a lot of work in front of us. We have a job to do, and we have someone's life who is in jeopardy. And so job number 1 is we got to find her, and we got to work hard to do that. I understand there's great attention on this, and rightfully so, and I appreciate it, and I thank you for it, because it has generated a lot of leads for us. And so we're tracking those leads, and we're
thank you, Eagle Stars and Stripes,
doing things with evidence that you would expect us to be doing. So having said that, we're going to set this up. I know that a number of you yesterday, you guys drove me crazy. Yesterday I was going from AM to all the way till 9, 10, 11 midnight.
Yeah, that's the day that he did all those different interviews and said different things on different places.
Answering concerns and questions, and it's just too tough, and it's not fair to the case. So what I'm
Hey, good night, Wild Bill Lossman. Hope you're feeling better soon. Appreciate you showing up and supporting the channel.
going to tell you is today we're going to do this similar to what we're doing right now. Here we'll take questions. It's not really my briefing, it's your briefing. You'll be able to ask us some questions. We'll probably shut you off after a while because I just can't be here all day. We have work to do. But we'll take some questions, and then in a couple of days, unless something breaks, we'll do this every couple of days. So, and we'll set up with you through our PIO teams to give you anything that comes up that might change, but clearly they will notify
All right, guys, we need 2 more gifted memberships.
You on these, what I call media briefings. So with that, I'm going to ask John to come up. If you've got a statement to say, John, and then we'll take some questions and we'll get back to work.
Hello, I'm John Edwards. My spelling is Jonedwards. I'm the Assistant Special Agent in charge of the FBI's office here in Tucson. First, we want the community to know that the FBI is doing everything in our power to bring Nancy Guthrie home to her family. The FBI is working alongside the Pima County Sheriff's Department on this incident. In terms of what the FBI is doing, we are providing the following support. Primarily, it's analytical and technical support in the following ways. We're downloading and analyzing cell phones, obtaining cell tower information, conducting interviews, and providing any...
Isn't it crazy that didn't, identify like a vehicle? It should have been a, somebody... I mean, I guess if you didn't have your cell phone with you, a smart criminal wouldn't have your cell phone. And then it wouldn't have any information. Especially if you used a car that had no... like a 2005 or something, whatever year it is that, I don't know, it's just weird that this person is, I think, a hell of a lot smarter than people gave him credit for. Hey, can you guys, we just need 1 more gifted memberships to fire off Lisa Belson's challenge.
And all investigative support that the Sheriff's Department needs. We're looking at this from every angle, but we need your help. If you live in the area or saw something on Saturday night, the 31st of January, or Sunday morning, the 1st of February, please report it to the Pima County Sheriff's Department or the FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI. Every lead and tip is important. We are aggressively pursuing...
What'd you do, Bakalula? No show in chat. I don't know. Well, thanks for trying, I guess. Bakalula, I don't know. I didn't see it.
Pursuing and looking into every single one. Again, please help us bring Nancy Guthrie home. Thank you.
Hey, there we go. We got Eagle Stars and Stripes. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Sheriff, is there any indication so far as to whether this was a random abduction or targeted?
It's like I said earlier, you know, we're looking at all the leads, and we don't know. We're going to assume both sides of that. We'll look at both sides of that.
Sheriff, any idea what Nancy Guthrie was wearing, or the type of car that she might have left from, or any identifiable information that the public could use to help with those tips?
We do not.
Sure. Hey, Bakalula, it said it didn't show up. It didn't show up on my analytics in the background, so I don't know what happened.
Sheriff, do you believe that one or more than one person was involved in the kidnapping?
I just no clue. It could have been one. It could have been more. I don't know. Let me get one second.
Is there any
I don't think it went through Bakalula.
indication that Nancy Guthrie is still alive? We know the medication played a critical role here. It's been 48 hours. She needs it every single day. Are you looking for someone that is still alive?
We hope we are. We hope we are.
Sheriff said earlier that you don't believe there's a wider threat to the public. If you're not sure if it's targeted, why do you believe there's no wider threat to the public?
Well, we have crime in Tucson all the time, right? Like any city. And so there, when you say a threat to the public, is there somebody out there who's kidnapping elderly people in the middle of the night every night? We've not heard that. We don't believe that's the case. We do believe that Nancy was taken from her home against her will, and that's where we're at.
Sheriff, when you reference violence at the site, can you elaborate on that? And also, was there a sign of forced entry? Any valuables taken?
Well, violence at the site would be the blood. It's never been confirmed, you know, like people say there was blood by the door and then inside and then also outside. But there's been no confirmation other than there is blood outside, and that has been confirmed to be Nancy's blood.
Any bank or ATM cards used after her disappearance?
We're not getting into that. What I'd tell you is, like any crime scene, we processed this crime scene. We gathered all the evidence we could, to include looking for what? Fingerprints, DNA, camera images, everything you can imagine, and we gathered that out. Those things have been submitted forward to labs, to technological companies to help us, and we're like you. We're waiting for those returns to come back.
Did you find DNA that did not belong in that house?
The window of time from when she was last seen to when she was reported missing, and I know you guys are asking for help from the public, is there any way to narrow down what time you might be helpful? I know there was a report about a pacemaker dinging like around 2 o'clock in the morning. Is there any way to indicate to people, hey, look around 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. to help them identify what they might have?
You know, I really don't want to get into narrowing down the time, because narrowing it down means we could miss some tips and leads. We're working on with the data we've submitted for investigative analysis. We're working to see if that time can be tightened up. But for now, we're going with what we told you earlier. She was dropped off at 9:30, and she was found to be missing at about 11 o'clock Sunday morning.
Hold on. Yeah, but she was dropped off at 9:48. You know, not 9:30.
Let me get this one.
DNA of anyone else found in the house?
We've submitted all kinds of samples for DNA, and we've gotten some back, but nothing to indicate any suspects.
Anybody strange in the neighborhood? I know you're looking at video, different surveillance camera, anything that we should be looking out, different cars?
I have nothing in that regard.
Have any demands been made by kidnappers?
We have all kinds of investigative leads we're working on.
Sheriff, we noticed that the camera on the front of the house is missing. Do you believe the perpetrator purposely took the camera?
Don't know that. We're looking into that as well. Yes, sir.
That scene been fully processed now. We saw deputies leave around 6 o'clock last night. We didn't see tape go up. You know, an Amazon driver was able to walk right up to the door. Is that pretty standard for how you handle this?
The scene is done. We're done with the residents. If we need to go back to get, maybe we want to do something with some other piece of evidence.
We made it to about 60% so far of the nightly goal. So if you guys have the ability, we just got to keep on going. We're also, like last night, there wasn't a lot of people here, and somehow the channel only brought in $40 total, which is 28 after YouTube. So we're way behind now for the month. So if you guys have the ability, maybe we could have a really good night and make up the difference.
There, we contact the family and let them know, but we've turned that over to the family. I don't have the time, but it was sometime yesterday, I believe.
Did you cover any tire tracks or any
No, ma'am.
footprints around the house?
No.
Was there any
Would you please take us through the timeline that you've established of the events so far and what this one she killed?
9:45, 9:30, 9:45, we were told she was left at her home by the family. At 11 o'clock in the morning, the family got notice from somebody at church that she was not at church. They went to the home, found her to be missing. That's the timeline. From Saturday night, 9:45, we'll say, to Sunday morning, 11 o'clock.
Have you been
Let me get somebody back here, please.
Have you interviewed the people that reported her missing, the people from the...
That's the family. Oh, from the church as well. We're doing all kinds of interviews, yes, I'm sure we have.
Have you been able to access the footage from the cameras at the house?
That's all been submitted, and we're doing our best with those companies who own those cameras.
So they hadn't got the surveillance back or anything like that yet at the time of this.
Or built those cameras.
Are there any plans to release those videos from the cameras, from the surveillance? Are there any plans to release the video from the cameras, surveillance footage?
We don't even have...
Talking about last night? Yeah, that was ridiculous. It was crazy.
Have them yet, so no, not at this time. This is an active investigation.
There's a report of a suspicious man a few doors down last week. Is that anything that you guys are aware of?
I'm not aware of it. My detectives may be. There's a lot of detective work being done, and I just can't get into those weeds or even discuss with you what they may not have learned. Yes, ma'am.
Report from the board yesterday. Are there specific resources that maybe the board has not granted that would have made a difference responding to this case?
Well, you know, that's getting into my own local politics. I apologize. Yes, the board a few weeks ago denied a request for more cameras, more drones, more AI capabilities with our own body-worn cameras. All those things, you know, you'd have to talk to the board. I'm not.
Yeah, you know what? It is sort of frustrating to listen to now that we're on round number 2 with the, hey, thanks, Sazaf. Yeah, it was pretty crazy, especially after the night before us saying how important it is to start off the month with a good night, and it was one of the worst nights in the last 6 years.
Probably not the right time to go into this.
Sheriff,
let me get somebody else here.
Sheriff,
Yes.
do you believe she's still in this area?
Do we believe?
Do you believe she's still in this area, or is there somewhere else?
We don't know where she is. So you like any investigation, you start from.
Yeah, those are always kind of weird questions, you know. Like, well, if they thought she was in the area, then that means they had a. You know, I mean, it was interesting how the little Bluetooth sniffer was on a helicopter that was flying kind of low in the neighborhood. You know, but I don't know. If you thought she was in the area, then you would have already had a clue.
The point of where we last saw her, and we work out, and we're working as far out as we can go.
Sheriff, can you walk through
were there
the evidence
of forced entry at the house, like any broken windows or whatever? Or does it seem like people just went in and out?
There are concerns at the house that concerned us from the early on part of this investigation, and that's all I will tell you. Yes, ma'am.
Sheriff, is there any history with Nancy needing police at her place, or concerns where she was worried about somebody following or?
You know, our investigative team has looked into all of those things, and that has not been brought to my attention. So she may have had something like that, but I'm not aware of it.
What is the extent of collaboration with the federal government? Obviously, FBI is here, CBP. Are there other agencies also involved?
CBP's role in this was in our search and rescue mission, where we constantly use them. They have great dogs. Our dogs aren't tracking dogs for this. Theirs are, and so they came out and did that. Anybody else, though, that we've asked for help from, whether it's the FBI, I know if we needed help from CBP or DEA or ATF, they would gladly give it. I've heard from leadership from all sorts of agencies, not just at the federal level, but across the state. Every one of them saying, Sheriff, you need anything, we're here.
Sure. So you obviously said investigators, when they got on scene, they found suspicious circumstances. When the family called originally to report her missing, did they say anything about the state of the home?
I don't know that. I don't know. Let me hang on. Let me make sure I'm getting some different people here. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so there was blood that was found inside the house and you're testing it for DNA. How much blood and where was it?
I'm not saying there's blood inside that house or outside that house. What I'm saying is our team processed a scene like you would think of any crime scene. We go in and we process it. We look for things like that: blood, DNA, any kind of physical evidence, fingerprints, anything. And all of that is gathered and submitted to a lab. That lab will report back to us what they find. So far, that what we found from that lab is nothing that would tell us this is who did this.
We'll take a couple more questions, and then the sheriff's got to go.
Sheriff, can you walk through the evidence that was found at the scene in as much detail as possible?
No, I cannot.
What is the bottleneck to the surveillance footage? I know you said some of it is in the cloud, but you've also been reached out to tech companies that are saying they're cooperating. Why do you not have the surveillance footage on media?
That's what I tell them. How come I don't have this? Where's my evidence? It is a process, and I'm sorry, but we're grateful that there's large corporations and companies who have bent over backwards to help us, to say, hey, Sheriff, tell us what you need. And so, yeah, I can't slam them. And we've asked them. They know the urgency.
So why everybody hates this guy. And I don't think he's very good. I think he's very way in over his head. And then there's all these other stories coming out. He's not a very good speaker. I think what he was like this sheriff, that was kind of in a small town, or small-ish town, and, just kind of, ride off into the sunset, go to basketball games. Every once in a while there's a case, he has his detectives on it and so forth. But then all of a sudden this case shows up, something that is way over his head, way more than anything he's ever done. And he just seemed like he didn't react very well. Like the FBI, if they were in right away, they should have been basically in control of the DNA element right out of the chute. And they should have processed the crime scene even. Because once you realize, oh wow, it looks like she's been abducted, just get them in and let them do everything. They're better. They're the best. But hey guys, we're now at maybe 70%, so if you guys have the ability to help support the channel, we got to have a decent night to make up for yesterday. We'll spend a lot of the days trying to make up for that one.
See here, but I'm like you. What do you mean I don't know that now? Yeah, it's tough.
Follow up on an answer that you gave earlier. You were asked if there was last question. You were asked if there was any ransom, and you didn't say no. You said we're following all leads. Does that mean a ransom has come in?
We're following all leads we have. That's all I can tell you. We've got hundreds of leads, and it's from you that
hadn't a ransom came in when this press conference was out.
That produce those leads by telling people we need help, and I'm grateful for that. But I'm not going to get into all that. We have a team designated to deal with all of our leads. They're looking into all of that. We are sharing all of our leads with the FBI. They are helping us in evaluating those leads, how good they are, where that priority should be, and so we're just. Look, I know you guys are...
Yeah, thanks again up there, Lisa Belson. I don't know if you take it off, but thank you.
Are doing your job, and you're doing a great job. But we have a job to do, too, and I really need to back away from this for a while, and we'll see you, unless something breaks, we'll see you Thursday morning. PIO will give you a time frame, I'm guessing somewhere around 11:30.
That's it.
Thank you. I need your emails. If you are not on the email list, get with me in the corner. I'll be right back.
Good morning.
See, this is probably, he's already got a whole bunch of, he's seen a bunch of the bad comments and so forth. So when he comes out, he just looks like a deer in the headlights. Look at this.
Unless something breaks. Hello, we'll see you Thursday morning. PIO will give
look at how he comes out on the... this is the last press conference they ever had, was this one that we're about to see here.
Time frame, I'm guessing somewhere around 11:30. But
that's it.
Thank you. I need your emails. If you are not on the email list, get with me in the corner. I'll be right back.
Good morning.
You guys have been pretty harsh on me lately in the news, and you know, it's not really a good morning for me. This guy here is hilarious in the upper left-hand corner.
I hope you've been kind of informed of the rules. I'm going to try to get as many, if not all of you, an opportunity to ask a question.
He's trying to sound a little, he probably practiced. He's trying to sound a little different. You know, I'm here to help, you know, you a little bit. And, you know, I just want, well, come on. You didn't sound like that.
The last time we tried this, it was just kind of chaotic, people yelling. So I'd ask that you just kind of be patient with me. Pay attention to the questions asked, because sometimes you guys want to ask the same question twice, and you're going to get the same answer. So help yourself get what you can out of this. I'm going to give you one question and a follow-up. Okay? But before we get there, I do have some comments. First of all, I want to begin by offering our condolences to our partners at the State Department of Public Safety.
Hey guys, we're on a massive lull. We're trying to reach the goal tonight. So if you guys have the ability to help support the channel, I would really appreciate it. As I said a minute ago, yesterday, the first day of the month, was just abysmal for what we do over here. So if you guys can try to help out and make it, I don't know if we can make up for any of that, but let's just have a normal night though. Okay, so that'd be great. Maybe who can do another challenge out there?
Tragically lost 2 members last night in a helicopter crash up in northern Arizona. So if you would keep them in your prayers, Colonel Glover and his team, I'm sure, would greatly appreciate it. Along the same lines, I think you all saw last night, I'm trying to speak up, not yell, because apparently I talk soft.
See that? He's sort of, you know, like, he's responding to all the different criticism that he's got. I know what that feels like, actually, you know. Like, he's sitting there going, yeah, I was told I talk soft. I don't think he did in any of those other press conferences.
We saw last night the family, you know, they just hurt, understandably so. And so I really want you to know this entire team here, those behind me, and our community are hurting with you. We really just want Mom back, okay? Right now...
Oh, you're going to do another one? Holy crap. Hey, look at you guys. Lisa Belson is doing another challenge, 5 for 5. So if just 5 of you donate $5, she'll match it.
We believe Nancy is still out there. We want her home. Our department, the Sheriff's Department, along with all of our partners at the FBI, have been working around the clock. And we just want her home and find a way to get to the bottom of all of this, just as you do. But I have other partners out there who have stepped up, and you've probably noticed them in the last few.
Thank you, says F and Alley Cake.
Few days, if not the last few hours, and you're going to see more of that. Well, I made a decision to contact our PCRIT team, and those of you not local, that's our Pima Regional Critical Incident Team. It's made up of law enforcement officers from this entire valley. Pasquayaki Police Department, Tucson Police Department, Marana Police Department, Oro Valley Police Department, Pima College Police Department, this is Tucson International Police Department, Sarita Police Department. There's so many of them, and they are going to help us tremendously. And that's really done because we have so much in front of us still, and we're hoping that, you know, I know the FBI has committed a very large number of men and women to partner with us, work side by side with us. We go do an interview, they're going to be there with us. We're going to go look at some evidence or process evidence, they're going to be right there with us. We're sharing every piece of information, all the data we can to get this thing solved. And it's important that my partners in law enforcement know and understand their roles, because it is very large, complex investigation with a lot of moving parts. And we're at that.
Hey, thank you to Suzef, Allie Cake, Karen, Jean Taggart, and Lisa Belson. Wow, that was very kind. Thank you so much.
Days now, where sometimes we're waiting, right? We're waiting for analysis. We're waiting for lab reports. But even then, when they come back quickly, for example, some DNA, we rushed what we thought was the best target for DNA. We did a rush through and got some of that back. The results were minimal. I think you all know the blood on the porch. That was one we did. It came back to Nancy. That's what we know. But there's still more items that have been submitted. We just haven't got them back yet. But in the meantime, we're not just sitting on our haunches waiting. We do have a number of leads coming in, and that's why we brought in the FBI for one, but PCRIT as well, to be able to get out there and handle these leads as they come in as quickly and as expeditiously as we can. And every single lead is looked at, every one of them. And so we're gearing up. You probably have some questions about what you've seen in the last couple of days. I'll gladly answer those at that time. But it really is about getting our partners out there. To be fair, when we went to that scene the first night, Saturday night, it was just us. Since then, the FBI and others have asked, can we go and see it as well? And that's what you've been seeing. But it is a very important case to not just me and my team, but this entire community, all of our law enforcement partners. Suspects. I know there's been a lot out there about suspects, and I want to be very clear. At this time, we have not identified a suspect or a person of interest in this case. We are working our best to do that. But to be clear, we have nobody of interest or any suspects that you would consider a prime suspect. We're just not there. We're not there yet. The timeline, I think we've got it on the board, do we not?
Yeah, this is always my favorite part, where he blows it and gives away information they probably didn't want to.
This is a timeline that we have been able to develop with some of the things that we've had processed. Various pieces of electronics that we've gathered. And you look at some of this, and I know you're going to say, well, why did it take you so long to get this to us, Sheriff? Well, because one thing, it's got to go. I
haven't followed that one. I thought somebody was going to send me an email earlier. Somebody said, hey, what's Gray's email? But no, I haven't covered that one. Send me an email.
Go out and be processed at different lab sites. And sometimes that stuff comes back to us. And like you, we have questions. And we say, wait a minute, what is this about? What about this? Could it be that? And so it's sent back, or it's sent somewhere else. So, and that's happening with all of the things we see. That process, that review, and that questioning of, all right, what is it we're looking at? So I'll go over it with you. You can see it on the board there, but at about 5:32 p.m., these are approximate times. 5:32 p.m., Nancy travels to her local family's home for dinner and playing games with the family, just visiting. At 9:48 p.m., which is very consistent to what we were told by the family, that Nancy was dropped off at home, and we know that because we have the garage door open at approximately, I can't stress.
So they must have told him the 9:30, around 9:30. That's kind of close, 9:48, 9:30. But, when he's trying to be precise, you gotta.
That's that enough. At approximately 9:48 p.m. At 9:50 p.m., that garage door closes, because that time we assume that Nancy's home and probably going to bed.
You know what's weird is, how come not one soul in there said, how did you guys know that the garage door shut at 9:50? Like just a simple question like that. It's just weird how they just never.
Sunday morning, early morning at 1:47 a.m., the doorbell camera disconnects. At 2:12 a.m., software detects a person on a camera. but there's no video available. They had no subscription, and therefore it would rewrite itself. It just kind of loops, right, and covers up. That's what our analysis teams have told us. We're not done with that. We'll do all we can, but that's what it says. So it detects a person on camera. Could that be an animal? I imagine that's possible. We don't know that.
See, that's where he blew it, you know. I think I'm the only one that actually observed that originally when it happened. Was that he said, you know,
doorbell camera disconnects.
Okay, then the next part here.
At 2:12 a.m., software detects a person on a camera.
So it says 2:12. So we already know, if you just look at this right here, the doorbell camera disconnects. That means it's it's not part of the story anymore. You know, it's not, there's no more footage or anything that's going to come from that camera. If it got reconnected, they would have told us that. All right, so 147, that camera is out of play. Okay, and then we go to this next one where it talks about at 2:12, software detects a person on camera. No video is available because there was no subscription.
But there's no video available. They had no subscription, and therefore it would rewrite itself. It just kind of loops, right?
Yeah, it actually has. I can't remember I think it was 3 hours, right? It's a 3-hour rolling window in which you have time to watch a video. If you don't watch the video within the 3-hour rolling time, it's then written over. So a video is recorded. For the next 3 hours, you can watch that video. And then after that, it's gone regardless. It just keeps writing over as it goes. So it's gone regardless if there's no motion. It doesn't store 3 hours of rolling video. Of motion. It just stores 3 hours of video. And so it'll roll forward. And then after 3 hours is up, it just marks it as deleted and available to be written over. It's not viewable again. And that's what they went out and so then there might have been other motions that wrote over parts of a video, and they were able to still extract that. And so
covers up. That's what our analysis teams have told us. We're not done with that. We'll do all we can, but that's what it says. So it detects a person on camera. Could that be an animal? I imagine that's possible.
See, look at how he looked at him. See, when he said, could that be an animal? I guess that's possible. It detected a human, but it could have been an animal. Well, what that means is what he was telling us accidentally was that the camera is not an indoor camera at all, and it's not the ring camera because that one's out of play now. So it's either the camera that's right here on this corner or this camera right there. There's two cameras here. There's one that's right up in this corner that looks out. I've shown you on surveillance camera where you can see the actual solar panels on this one and this one. In fact, you can even see the solar panel, believe it or not, on Google Earth. That little square area right there is the solar panel. And that little part that sticks out right there is the camera. Now, it's probably likely that that dark patch right there is the solar panel and the camera is right there. But what he did was he let people realize that the camera was outside because he even mused, like he speculated that it could have been an animal. I mean, no, can you ever think that a person knowing a camera's inside would say, well, it could have been an animal? There's just no way in hell. That wouldn't even cross your mind subconsciously. So that's when I knew, okay, that camera's outside. That's interesting. So that means I think at 2:12 is probably the time where the person is making sort of entry into the area in the back and is picked up on a camera.
We don't know that. We just have no video. But we're not giving up on that. 228. Nancy's pacemaker app shows that it was a disconnect from the phone. And at 11:56 a.m., the family checks on Nancy, discovers her missing, and at 12:03 p.m., 911 is called in to the Pima County Sheriff's Department. I believe it's about approximately 10 minutes later, 12 minutes later, our patrol teams arrive. They see...
Basically, we need 10 more memberships to get to the minimum goal tonight. So if we can do that, that'd be great.
The scene, and we start our response with our search and rescue teams and our detectives from homicide and various units. In fact, every unit here, I think somebody questioned, how come there's an ICAC member out here, or this member? Everybody in our criminal investigations team is a part of this team and part of this investigative effort. I think with that, let me make sure.
Yeah, so let's just take a look at this ourselves. So we have right here at 5:32, we know that she leaves the house, her house, at 5:32. That's how they know that, because either the DoorDash, or what, not DoorDash, the Uber driver, whatever the hell it was, that picked her up, gave the information, or there's some electronics involved where she opened the garage door to go out or something. And maybe they even have a camera at the front. I don't know. But that's the time she left her house. So she probably got to the house at 5:42, then hung out there, played games, etc., and then must have taken off from the house at about 9:38, because it takes 10 minutes, and then at 9:48 the family drops Nancy off at home at the garage door. So they know, that's how they know when these doors open. And at 9:48, now we've actually, I have a pretty good idea of what the inside of the house looks like. It looks pretty, like you go in the garage door, straight ahead of you is a door that goes into the house. To the left of the door that goes into the house is the sort of dining room table that they play mahjong at. And then there's actually a window right there that goes outside. It's in that little cove. And then if you go to the right, you're going into where the dining room is. And there must be a wall there. Then it might not be a wall. It could be open. And then there's a door that goes outside right there as well. Yeah, so like if you were looking at this picture right here, there's a door right here that goes into the kitchen area. And then there's a table right there where they play mahjong, etc., and then there's a window right there. And this window right here is part of the dining room. Now I don't know, there must be a wall for part of it, right? Because inside of there's a brick wall. So that means, wherever you go to the door that's in here, there must be a wall that goes around, and then there's where the dining room is. So I have a pretty good idea of, how it works in there. And then Nancy's bedroom is right here. Her bedroom stops about right there. And I don't know where the door is. It's probably back here, or it could be on this side. And maybe there's a hallway there. Don't really know, but that's the window of Nancy's bedroom right there. And if you remember the video that's out there in her room, there's another wall right there. But yeah, you guys, any chance we can get those other 10 memberships just to reach the minimum goal? That would be awesome. We're almost there. We almost did it. I'll tell you what, if you guys get to the 10, I'll give 5 myself. Okay, so it's a 10, 5. You guys do 10, I'll do 5. I mean, I know it's not as good of a deal as the other ones, but that's what I'll do. All right. I still don't understand to this day why they aren't saying who had access to camera. What do you mean? I don't know what you mean, Karen. I don't know what that means. All right, so at 9:48, they go in the garage, and then that's when they know the garage door opened. She's walked to the door. Probably took a minute or so to get her in, and then goes into the house. Then at 9:50, the garage door shuts, and they take off. Then at 1:47 a.m., we see, that's right around that time you see that guy on the camera. I think most rational-minded people, you know, or if you were just going to speculate and have a very likelihood of being correct, you would say that the camera, you know, the 147 doorbell camera disconnects time is literally just after we see that video of the person at the front door. In fact, I think that's when it was being disconnected, is right when we see the person manipulating the plant over the door. I think right after that there's no more video because it was disconnected. That's how they know that time. I mean, I think if you're just trying to use common sense, that right here, right there, after this whiteness on the screen, see that? They put the, let me just go back a little bit. Right there, they're putting on over the door. Now look at this, by the way. Look how bright that is. You know, and everybody goes, ooh, it's a flashlight on the right. No, it's not. That isn't a flashlight. It's the same damn, it's part of the plant again. And look how bright that is. Is the plant now a flashlight? Yeah, we don't know. But we don't get to know, like, whose phone, you know, who had access to it. But I think right after this shot right here, this one, it's disconnected. So that is, right now, is 147. You know, is there any way that anybody could go, wow, that doesn't make sense? No. No, you can't say that because it does make sense, right? I mean, that makes sense. That is 147 right there in the camera. It's being disconnected as we're watching it when he puts the plant over it. Do you guys agree with that? Now, you can say, oh, I don't agree, and you'll have nothing to back it up. Okay? The truth is at 147, that is incredibly likely the time on that surveillance that we're looking at right there. All right, you guys, we need 9 more. Hey, pretend I'm somebody else making the challenge here, okay? But we need 9 more gifted memberships. Then I'll donate 5, and we'll have reached the goal tonight. How about that? Doesn't that sound good? Probably not, but we need to reach the goal tonight, you guys. Right, and then 228, her pacemaker app shows a disconnect from the phone. And so we've learned all about that too. So there's actually a unit apparently inside the house that's the base, you know. So when you're in the home, you have to be near this base for it to start recording what your pacemaker's doing. And then the app on the phone isn't really part of that, really. It's just sort of it's not what it actually helps send the signal out, I guess. I'm not even sure about that. I just know they have a base unit inside the house, and that base unit, when you are more than like 10 feet away, it can't communicate. Like maybe let's just say up to 30 feet, it can't communicate anymore with the pacemaker because the pacemaker is actually inside of your body and still uses a Bluetooth signal to connect to it. So it's not like gonna go for 10 miles or something. It just has a really short range. And so that means when she went to bed, she probably likely went to bed at something like around 11 o'clock or before and was sleeping in her bed next to the machine. That's how we know she made it home. There's people out there that go, oh, how do we know she even made it home? Well, we know she made it home because her pacemaker machine was still recording her, and then eventually it got disconnected. Right? So at 228 though, somebody is in the house. We've got the motion at 212 in the backyard, and 16 minutes later she is far enough away from the machine in the house where her pacemaker stopped communicating with it. You know, so that could mean she could have even been in the house, kept in the living room for 10 minutes of that time, and it still wasn't connected there, but hadn't left the house yet. Yeah, we don't know about that. Hey, Liam. Where's the enthusiasm to my challenge, you guys? We got to try to reach the goal tonight. Almost there. Yeah, it's not even... it's like a dollar. I mean, these guys... We need 8. We need 9 more, you guys. So again, like 228, she is too far away from the machine inside the house for it to send a signal. So likely right around 228-ish is when she's being removed from the house. You know, within 10 minutes of, you know, she could be in the house and it's still not connected. But this is around the time that she was removed from the home. And then 11:56, family checks on Nancy. And the reason they checked on Nancy is because I guess somebody in her... She goes over to individuals' homes each Sunday to watch church services. All right, can somebody else do a challenge then? Because obviously mine don't work. So somebody do a 5 for 5er and I'll match 5, so it'll be 5 to 10. Yeah, so at 11:56 a.m., that means, so she was in these church groups that would watch her daughter's church service in New York at various homes and be, you know, watch it online, etc. Well, she didn't show up for that Sunday, so those people called up the family and said, hey, your mom didn't show up. And then at 11:56, the family goes over and checks on, arrives at the home to check on Nancy. Now, they must know it's 11:56 again. Maybe they opened up the garage door to go in and check on her. And then when they went in the home, they saw that, oh, there was this item and this item, and there's blood maybe by the front door. And then they called 911 7 minutes later. Not quite as nefarious as everybody was saying before. And then just 12 minutes after that, patrol arrives. But even that right there shows you how long it takes for patrol to get there. And that's why my theory is that the killer, after... All right, I'm going to call him a killer. I don't think she's alive. I mean, you know, I don't want to call her the kidnapper. Let's do that. You know, so he walks over there, and then at 1:47 walks in here, and then after removing the camera at 1:47, didn't want to go into the house at that time because you don't know if you've just tripped some alarm or somebody saw it where then they call police to show up. All right. Then he walks away somewhere. You know, somewhere over in this area, they walked away. And then they waited for 30 minutes or so. And then they came back at like 2:07, 2:08, and then make their way around to the back. And then 2:12, they're seen going into the backyard. Hey, thank you, Bakalula. All right, here's mine. Here, hold on a second. Oh, I guess I have the ones that I can give out. There we go. There we go. Thank you, Bakalula. I always like saying that name. It's not quite cow teeth. What's the one? Something teeth, cow teeth. It's not quite that one, but yeah, thanks everybody. Appreciate it. All right, here we go. Here we go. Yeah, so 2:12. After he comes back to the house after waiting around to see if cops would show up, that's when he goes inside the house. Now, there could be another person that's driving the vehicle. Yeah, horse teeth, cow teeth. There could have been somebody driving the vehicle. I can't ignore that. That sounds like a pretty reasonable thought, that there is somebody on another vehicle, and maybe that is a walkie-talkie or something, and he's like, hey, you know, I'm ready to take her out of the home now, and then the person drives the vehicle and parks it right here. Okay, it could also be that he alone had a vehicle over here somewhere, and then after removing the camera at 147, the camera that he removed specifically because he knew that he was going to be parking the car right here in the front of the house. So he removed the camera, waited 25 minutes, got the vehicle, then drove the vehicle and parked it right there, knowing now that that camera will not film the make and model of that vehicle. Then he pulls up the car there, or somebody else drove it, you know, in the other scenario, it's the same thing. But he could have pulled up the car right there, got out of the vehicle, and then went around this way, or he could have gone around this way. There's all kinds of different ways that he could have gone around. And then goes over the fence, perhaps, over here, goes into the backyard. It turns out there's a potted plant that was holding a gate open over here. There's also a potted plant that was holding this door open when family got there. And then he goes inside the house. We don't know when he actually made entry into the house. He could have, I think law enforcement knows, as I've said before, exactly when Nancy Guthrie was confronted by this person. They know exactly when that was. And that's because her heart rate on the monitor would have accelerated dramatically. And they know that that is when she was confronted by the person. So they can see it right there. So they have the exact time. You know, maybe it's 2:18 or something. You know, we don't know. And they're in the room for a little bit. And then eventually she's removed from the house at 2:28. You know, so here's 2:12 when the software on a camera depicts motion. Now, it could be the camera in front of the garage, but I mean, wouldn't it just keep picking up another motion again and again and again? So it seems like it's more likely the camera in the backyard is what picked it up, because we only have the one motion. And I think unless one of the cameras was broken, which we don't know, but logically you would think that it would be one of the cameras in the backyard, like right here, this one. I think it would be this one right here, because he comes over and he sets it off. But then, you know, wouldn't it just keep recording again while he broke the floodlights over here? Or were those broke a different night? Don't know. And when he was moving around the potted plant to keep the doors open, wouldn't that camera pick him up? So what if this camera wasn't working and it was only this one that was working, and he spotted and then hops over that fence, which, you know, somebody mildly athletic could do, just get over that fence there, and then from the inside, it probably didn't have a lock on it, and he just opened up the gate, propped it open. This camera maybe wasn't working, don't know. But, you know, a lot of it's just luck on his part, too. But, you know, goes inside the home, confronts Nancy Guthrie, gets her out of her bed, etc. Some mild altercation. I mean, she probably had a bloody nose. I think her ability to bleed is probably extremely high, being on the blood thinners, and you know, just the slightest little thing could have caused that. Then she's walked out. I think she literally was walked out by the guy. She was standing off to, for example, if we go back to this video, I always like to use this one. So she's sort of where this person is. And she makes it right to there bleeding, by the way. So she's still bleeding and she's right there. But if we back this up a little bit, let's say the guy holding her is 2 tiles over. And she's bent over more than that, and she's shorter, so she coughs out. That's where we get the blood, but he continues to have her walking out to the vehicle and gets her into the vehicle. Now, a second person would make some of that easier. Once you get into the vehicle, if you had another person, that might make it easier to have, like, somebody controlling her when she's in the back seat. I know, isn't that weird? See, whenever you just sort of sit back and think of this case, it's crazy. It's freaking nuts, like Liam said. It's wild, you know? It's just, regardless of this being Nancy Guthrie, the daughter of, the mother of Savannah, don't you just think it's crazy, right? Think about it for a second. If this was in, Estacada, Oregon, it's still crazy. Like, there's this 84-year-old woman that's in a house that is removed. This crazy-looking psycho with the balaclava is seen on surveillance footage, and nobody has a clue where the hell she is. Nothing. And it's easy to see if you go watch, if you go to Google Earth, for example, and you walk around. It really gives you a great perspective of, like, how hard it is to find any surveillance whatsoever. Look at this. Okay, so just even right here, let's just go, yada. Walking down the street here, hoping to God somebody's camera picks something up, and, there's nothing. I think this is Nancy's house right there, but the camera that's on that garage is behind these trees over there. So here's what I think. I think these law enforcement has the vehicle on camera through trees or too far away, stuff like that. So let's just keep going down here. And this house apparently has a camera on it. And I think you can even see it. Like right up in there. I saw them removing it one time. But how well is that? Look at, again, there's these bushes right here. So it drives by and you're just not going to see anything. And then up here, see what I'm saying? Everybody's off the road. Nobody lives right on the road. People have surveillance cameras for their own house. Law enforcement just gets lucky in the real, the normal neighborhood world, because people have cameras, they're filming their carport, and then there is the street. Nobody buys a surveillance camera for their home and has it filming the street. Like, hey, let's just film the street. it has nothing, unless you're on a private little road or something. Law enforcement just gets lucky. The camera that was their Ring doorbell camera goes down to the street. Oh, this car drives by. They have a camera up here. It's filming the yard, and then in the upper peripheral part of the video, oh, there's the street. A car drives by. In this case, law enforcement doesn't even have the opportunity to be lucky. It's just garbage. Not that, I'm saying garbage like in terms of there's just nothing they're going to get here. You see what I'm saying? See what I'm talking about? This is 2008. It's almost like dirt road at that time. 18 years ago, that street view. Now this is 2022. There's been other, cases of kids and so forth that have been abducted that are the same. Like, you never get answers. So again, you just up here, let's go this direction now. So I think a car drove on this street that has Nancy Guthrie in it. It's just there is no footage anywhere. It's kind of sad, actually. Now you go this direction, down this street, And had they turned this way even, look, I mean, there's just nothing there. This house here, this is where I think it's possible this person parked. I think they may have parked right here, facing that direction. Like, you know, unless they wanted to back in, but like way over here is the house. And then there's this place right here that's way far away from the home. If you just pull in quietly, turn off your lights, it's blocked from that street. And, you know, over here you can't really see it if you drive by like that. But again, this house over here has no cameras filming where I am currently in this shot. Like if the car drove this direction. This one is probably one of the better possibilities if it has a camera. But did the car even go on this road? You know, and is there a surveillance camera on it? Don't know. That's 2023. So anyways, you guys see the problem, right? It's just, it's a freaking nightmare is what it is. And everybody is off the road. And while you think, oh, that's not very far, it is kind of far. You know, like if we went like this and just measured that, it's probably, it's 25 yards from the road. All right, back to this. But hey, guys, you can still help support the channel if you want. We got to make up for yesterday a little bit.
I want to clarify some things that I may have already done, but yeah, I've gone over with the blood at the front door, the doorbell camera.
By the way, let me show you. This is the part I think is funny as hell. Look at it.
The family checks on Nancy. Doorbell camera disconnects.
It's coming up here.
At 2:12 a.m.
Hey, thanks a lot there. Patriotic Revolution. By the way, if you guys haven't seen, I made 2 videos in the last 2 days. One of them is my analysis of the surveillance footage in the White House correspondent dinner. I think it's pretty good. And then I made a video today, which is the Tyler Robinson's movements. And it shows you exact part 1, where I have all of his movements. Some of it's like probably what he did. You know, I did animation of where he probably was. And it goes all the way up till the end of the dry run. Then the next video will be part 2 will be from, you know, when we see him on camera walking to do the final run where he actually kills Charlie Kirk. And then all the way up until, I don't know, it's, you know, I don't know if I'm gonna, if I do part 2, I think it'll just, part 2 would end like right when the gunshot happens. Something like that. I think that's what I'll do. And then part 3 will be from the gunshot all the way to the end where he gets back to his car and then drives over to that shopping mall, etc. It's really incredible. It's all put together, you guys. So go out and watch those videos for me, would you? Thanks. Anyways, here it goes. Watch.
Software detects a person on a camera. But
now look at this guy up here. Watch it.
There's no video available. They had no subscription, and therefore it would rewrite itself. It just kind of loops, right, and covers up. That's what our analysis teams have told us. We're not done with that. We'll do all we can, but that's what it says. So it detects a person on camera. Could that be an animal?
See, watch him right when he said that. He goes,
well,
that is the greatest. It's a different face, too, than he had before. Come on, you got to admit, like, that's pretty...
Doorbell camera disconnects.
Come on, you guys. That's good
At
stuff.
2:12 a.m., software detects a person on a camera, but there's no video available.
Yeah, watch it
They
again.
had
Watch
no
it again.
subscription, and therefore it would rewrite itself. It just kind of loops, right, and covers up.
Right,
That's what our analysis teams have told us. We're not done with that. We'll do all we can, but that's what it says. So
there it is.
Detects a person on camera. Could that be an animal? I imagine that.
You just gave it away, you bastard.
That's possible. We don't know that. We just have no video. But we're not. I want to clarify some things that I may have already done, but yeah, I've gone over with the blood at the front door, the doorbell camera. It was removed, we know that, but we're not confirming that any cameras were smashed or destroyed around the house. I don't know where that came from, but that's something we're not confirming. The car, the car that was at the home, it's just standard investigative practices. It's part of the search warrant scene, court orders. We pull it out of there and do our scene processing with the vehicle. Uber, we did speak to a driver because Nancy, we learned, had been taken the Uber to the family residence, the daughter, for dinner. And we
you guys got to admit, he looked at him like, what the hell are you saying, man?
Located that driver and spoke with them and got that information. The house, you guys got this, I think, conducting follow-up. I think you said somebody had mentioned that they saw a team out there again last night or yesterday, and that's just, again, what I was talking about before. Our partners wanted a chance to see it and examine things themselves, and more importantly, it's just we're constantly following up on things and go, hey, what about this? So we want to go back and check on some things. Here's the other thing. Someone had mentioned there was forced entry. I have no clue where that comes from. We have been very consistent. We are not discussing that at all, whether it's forced entry or not forced entry. That is something we're just not discussing, so I don't know where anybody got that information. I think I am about done with my piece of this. I'm going to bring up here.
I'm going to get back to this in a second. Hey, well, this thing right here, somebody, who was that? Carrie sent this to me. What's going on with this one? This, it says up here, missing Republican state Senate candidate found dead in truck. He disappeared. I mean, do you think maybe he just took his own life here? So the body of Republican Oklahoma State Senate candidate reported missing earlier this week had been discovered inside a truck parked in a rural area. Barry Christian, 54 years old, Senate candidate from Sayre, mysteriously vanished Tuesday and was found dead 2 days later, his campaign said. So I wonder if somebody was about to come forward with something. The Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation confirmed to the outlet that Christian's gray Ram truck was discovered near Highway 30 with a body inside. Due to the lack of location by the ravine near the Sandy Sanders Wildlife Management Area, the recovery of the vehicle and body was reportedly delayed, initially stalling identification of the remains. Officials are still working to determine Christian's cause of death. Yeah, I mean, that's what it seems like to me. What do you mean he looks like he drove into... What does that mean? Christian was reported missing on Tuesday after he failed to attend a scheduled meeting and was last seen driving the same truck found by officials, according to the Harmon County Sheriff's Office. Man, I wonder if there was some pending... Christian's campaign site described the District 38 candidate as conservative choice for Senate, vowing to proudly stand with President Trump and fight for the traditional conservative values. I mean, I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see, right? There could be somebody that was in that truck making him drive where he drove. But then they'd have, like, I don't know. Wouldn't that be... I don't know. Shit. You know, if he died of a gunshot wound and the gun's in the car, then you could still argue, like, you know, you have to show me where there was something that made him feel this way. Because then at that point you might think, okay, it's somebody that wanted to look like that. Possibly. I mean, whenever you have like a political person, it's hard to know. But I would think more likely just did something to himself. All right, anyways, that was just something that was sent. Maybe I'll look it up later. See what I can find.
Keith Yankee, and I think you know him if you haven't been here. John Edwards is the assistant agent in charge with the FBI here at the Tucson office. Keith Yankee is the special agent in charge for the state of Arizona out of Phoenix. And he will come up and speak.
Thank you, Sheriff. Hello, I'm Heath Yankee, the special agent in charge of the FBI's Phoenix Division. First, I want to let the Guthrie family know that our hearts are heavy for them. After seeing your message last night, it is clear that you and your family are in pain.
Right, but you were part of them putting out the message.
Please know that we are doing everything to bring your mother home. The FBI is now working this case jointly with the Pima County Sheriff's Department, and we're going to start today by announcing a $50,000 reward for information leading to the recovery of Nancy Guthrie and or the arrest and conviction of anyone involved in her disappearance, and this will be the missing persons with the reward that will be going out. The FBI has agents, analysts, and professional staff employees working day and night with our partners at the Sheriff's Department. We have deployed additional intelligence and agents from our Phoenix office. We have brought in our Critical Incident Response Group from Quantico, Virginia. Members from our Cellular Analysis Survey team are here, and they continue to collect and process digital information. We are actively reviewing and analyzing information from all digital sources, which includes banks, social media companies, phone companies, and any other organizations where a digital footprint could have been captured. All this information provides data points and helps put the picture together. And we will be in the community continuing to conduct a thorough investigation with our partners. You heard about us out there last night. We will be back out there today. I would ask the media, give our investigators the space to do their jobs while they're out there. Next, regarding the ransom letter. We are aware of a ransom letter that was sent to the local media and then to national outlets.
Yeah, see, this is the one I think that they believe that this was real, this ransom letter. But hey guys, if there's anybody out there, you want to help support the channel, that'd be great.
As with every lead, we are taking it seriously. We are in communication with the family, and while we advise and recommend from a law enforcement perspective, any action taken on any ransom is ultimately decided by the family.
Hey guys, ransoms don't do shit, okay? I mean, not ransom, rewards, okay? Everybody thinks, ooh, the reward, if you just made a little... They don't. They almost never work on anything, okay? It's just really what it does is it gives more publicity to a case. People go, oh my God, it's $1 million reward, everybody talking about... And that's really about it. It doesn't... it almost never works in these cases.
Thank you to those in the community that have called in tips. For anyone out there that may have information, no matter how small you think it may be, please report it. You can do so by calling 1-800-CALL-FBI or online at tips.fbi.gov.
But that map's been out there for a long time, Mike. A Mile High 515, whatever the hell your name is. That map's been out for months. I mean, you know, it's only a 3-month case, but like 2 months for sure. I've seen it.
My next message is to those imposters who are trying to take advantage and profit from this situation. We will investigate and ensure you are held accountable for your actions. We have made 1 arrest related to an imposter ransom demand, and a complaint will be presented to a magistrate judge later today. You will get more on that from the FBI and our U.S. Attorney's Office here in Arizona when it becomes available. To anyone that may be involved, do the right thing. This is an 84-year-old grandma. This is an 84-year-old grandma that needs vital medication for her well-being. You still have the time to do the right thing before this becomes a worse, much worse scenario for you. Please return Nancy home. Thank you.
I think these are, let's see, is this it right here?
Hi there. I'm coming on to say it is day 24.
Well, that's the next one. I think this one here is...
We received your message and we understand. We beg you now to return our money.
Okay, so was this the first one here? That one that I just played?
Hi there.
I don't remember now.
I'm coming on to say it is day 24.
No, the first one was all three of them.
Our mom was taken in the dark of night from her bed. And every hour and minute and second and every long night has been agony since then.
Okay, hold on, let me see. Do I have the other ones on here?
Also are donating $500.
Oh, they did that to Nick Mac.
A noble life that she has lived.
Yeah, so this one here is the one that's when I knew that they knew she wasn't alive.
We received your message and we understand. We beg you now to return our mother to us so that we can celebrate with her. This is the only way we will have peace. This is very valuable to us, and we will pay.
Yeah.
We received your message, and we understand.
We received your message and understand that our mom is not alive anymore.
We beg you now to return our mother to us.
We beg you to let us know where our mother's body is.
That we can celebrate with her.
So that we can celebrate her life with her here.
This is the only way we will have peace.
And that's the only way that we'll have peace, is if we know where she is and we can bury her properly.
This is very valuable to us.
And it's so valuable to us that we'll even pay for it.
And we will pay.
See, that's exactly what she's saying there. All right. Oops. Hold on a second. There we go.
That I would not discuss.
And is that...
They're really fearful of that. That I wouldn't.
It warranted. Thanks very much.
A person's detected.
Return Nancy home. Thank you.
Okay, now we get some questions.
Okay, so you want to call them or you want me to call them?
You can call them up.
Okay, so the first person we're going to start with the list is going to be NBC National, Liz Prince. Right here.
Can you walk us through that timeline from when you believe, if you look at this here, from 147 to 228?
You see what he's saying there? Oh, look, he's like, can you walk us through the timeline? He goes, it's right there.
Return Nancy home.
It's right there.
Thank you.
You idiot. It's right there. What are you...
All right, so you want to call them or you want me to call them?
You can call them up.
Okay, so the first person we're going to start with the list is going to be NBC National.
Can you walk us back through the timeline that you meticulously went through already, and it's sitting there right on the screen with all the numbers?
Liz Prince. Right here.
Can you walk us through that timeline from...
Look at him. He's like, it's...
When you believe...
See, I right there, I believe in what he just did right there. Right? He's like, it's right there. There's the timeline.
If you look at this here from 147 to 228, what you think happened there and what particular software would have detected somebody on camera?
I don't. I know we know the software that was there. But I'm not. Sorry, I'm just not in the weeds.
So,
I know that. Think of your doorbell cameras. Somebody walks up. My wife's. If I walk up, she gets an alert, and it's usually something like that. A person's detected.
So to understand then the follow-up, one, does that mean that it was about a 45-minute span that this suspect or suspects would have been on the property? And then also, does this essentially mean that you've cooperated with the tech companies and you can officially say that no surveillance video is available from the home?
We know that the tech company that we sent that camera off to, yes, they've said they've run out of ways to recover any video.
And was that about 45
next
minutes?
person's going to be ABC News, Aaron Katersky.
Yeah. I'm sorry, was what 45 minutes?
Can we say it's about a 45-minute span that somebody would have been on the property then, from 147 to 228?
Yeah, I think those times speak for themselves, and it is about, like I say, those are approximates, so yes.
Okay, so he is saying that maybe they were there, about that amount of time, but they could have been there before. I mean, when you look at this video right here, the very first shot of it, let's see, is it this one? Right there. So if you look at his feet, he's coming from the left there. So, had he already been walking around the other side of the home? We don't know.
I'm sorry, who was next, did you say?
Aaron Katersky, ABC News.
Hi, Sheriff. Thanks very much. Is there information that you are purposefully withholding because of the active investigation that might be leading you in a particular direction?
This is no different than any criminal investigation that we conduct here. Law enforcement has conducted investigations since 1865 here in Pima County. We're always mindful of what it is that's in front of us and what we should release and can release. There's legal guidelines that guide us, but there's also strategy too. So, I'll leave that for you to determine.
Now that you are having such an injection of manpower from the Pima Critical Incident Team and the FBI, were you slow to bring that in at the outset? Should all of these resources been brought to bear sooner?
I guess that, it's Monday morning quarterbacking. I do it all the time, so you have the opportunity to do it for me. I'll take that hit.
CBS News, Jonathan Migliotti.
Sheriff, over here, has there been any proof of life, and has there been any sign of life?
I'm going to, anything to deal with the ransom notes and that, I would defer to the FBI, but no, to my knowledge, we're still looking for Nancy.
And for my follow-up question, if I can speak with the special agent, what was it about this apparent ransom note that now 3 days on you first haven't been able to validate, and second, it warranted informing the Guthries of its existence?
So the ransom note that was sent out there, obviously every lead in this case we are taking extremely serious.
But not everyone is presented to the family. Why this one?
Because this was the ransom that came in and it had facts associated with a deadline, with a monetary value they were asking for. So at that point...
What were some of those facts, if you can, because there's been a lot of speculation, as you know, if you could set the record straight.
Yeah, the ransom itself, one talked about an Apple Watch and one talked about a floodlight. We're not going to go into specifics. It's very important that we keep this investigation moving forward, and we don't want to put more facts out there that others then can use to try to profit from this.
Who else would know about an Apple Watch?
Ed Lavandera.
Hey, Agent, I want to follow up with you real quick on that. There have been, as far as we know, I think 3 ransom notes so far, 1 arrest. Are they all different? Or do you think there's different authors behind all of them? Or...
So the one that went to the media is the one we were currently investigating and working on.
So yeah, I think, and then maybe, and even the last Savannah Guthrie Instagram one, she said that she believes that those were real, or at least they came. When they say real, they came from people who did something to Nancy. Now, whether or not they were looking to really get a ransom or not, probably that doesn't seem incredibly well. I mean, originally it could have been like it's a ransom gone wrong, and then they try to reach out, but then the part that always makes me go is the fact that you sent it to TMZ, which means that you really wanted it to be like everybody knew about it, and so it's like you were looking around for the reaction. So what was your motive originally? Was it made to look like a ransom gone wrong, or what the hell's going on in this? Yeah, let's hit that like button, you guys. Is there a reason we only have 160 likes in here? My God, people, when you come in, just hit the like button. It's pretty easy. You know, it doesn't cost you anything. It's just hit that like button 10, 20, 25, 30. Hit that like button 40, 45, 50. Hit that like button 60, 65, 70, 20, 25, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 89, 90, 91, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140. Hit that like button 30, now 5.
The imposter that I talked about, where an arrest was made early this morning, that there will be more information. We believe there's no evidence to connect this to Nancy's case. It was someone that was trying.
Yeah, I think it could be somebody who wanted to make Savannah feel a certain way and did this. And then made it look like a ransom to get the public sort of attention and watch her pain grow as you don't provide proof of life. You notice how, like, it got worse and worse and worse for for Savannah and them on those messages. So it's almost like that's what they were looking for, these people.
To profit from it, a total imposter.
And Sheriff, you started off the press conference by saying you believe that Nancy is still out there. Do you have reason to believe that she's still out there alive, or are you fearful of the worst case scenario here, that she won't be found alive?
Well, I'm certainly fearful of that. I think we all are. But it is we operate from a position that until we know she's out there, she's alive, and we're going to continue thinking that way until we find her.
Fox Digital, Mike Reese.
Yeah, sir. Michael Rivas from Fox Digital. Sheriff, you said you've identified no suspects. Have you ruled out anyone she was with on Saturday night?
You know, we've talked to so many. I'm sure that my investigators have feelings about this one's clear or this one isn't, but no, I wouldn't say anybody's ruled out yet, because what if I rule you out and then later I learn something else? No.
So my follow-up, you mentioned that you don't know where the reporting of a forced entry came from. Do we know how whoever did this got into her house?
That I would not discuss with you anyway.
Fox News, Paul Morrow.
Question for Agent Edwards, if I may. Agent Edwards, will the Bureau be submitting the DNA for investigative genealogical investigation relative to maybe hitting a relative, somebody that you walk?
I would say the DNA aspect of this case is being handled by the Pima County Sheriff's Department right now. However, should we get to that point, yes, that would be an option for the FBI to assist.
And a quick follow-up, does the ransom note that you're working establish any communication protocols in it?
No, it does not. And that is what I think is important, that if someone has Nancy and is demanding the ransom, that there is communication with.
I think Paul Morrow's one of the best there is out there. He's a Fox News guy, but like, you listen to him. For those of you who don't like Fox News, I love Fox News. But Paul Morrow is absolutely, I mean, I think he is like leagues above any of the other quote experts that are on the other channel. He's so good.
The family. We talked about has been no proof of life, and there was no other demands within that letter. So they're still waiting for communication.
ABC affiliate, Ashley Bolden.
I don't know if you guys are interested, but I'll do another 5 for $5. All right. So if you guys want to do 5, and I'll do another 5 by myself. All right.
Yeah, right here, Ashley Bolden. When you say the doorbell camera was disconnected, do you believe that camera was taken?
We do not have it in our possession. We've not located it.
Okay. And then a follow-up. I know that we've been hearing a lot about ransom notes. We were also hearing in that video that was put out by the Guthrie.
Yeah, we've given Texas EquiSearch over 30,000 easily. Hey, thanks, Lisa Valenzuela. Hey, we need 4 more, you guys.
3 siblings, and I don't know if this is a question for the FBI or yourself.
Well, there's Patriotic Revolution just right there. All right. Here we go. And there we go. Thank you, Patriotic Revolution and Lisa Valenzuela.
But the challenges of seeing an image and knowing that it's real. Could one of you address that? Has the family received correspondence, any images, videos?
So we're not going to go into facts regarding this part of the investigation. I think part of that message was with AI these days, you can make videos that appear to be very real. So we can't just take a video and trust that that is a proof of life these days because of the advancements in AI and trying to actually get a proof of life that we can verify. But we're not going to go into anything the family may or may not have received.
I don't know. It seems like I always feel like when we're not covering this case, we're just sort of. But it's like there's nothing. There's no press conferences or anything. I wish I want to talk about it though. You know, I mean, even if you're there, you're not really. There's nothing to get. You know, it's frustrating.
KOLD, Catherine Patterson.
So in regards to a timeline on that ransom note, is that being an impact in your investigation? Are we nearing that timeline?
I'm sorry, one more time.
So in regards to the timeline in the ransom note, are we nearing that timeline? And is that playing a part in the investigation?
We're not going to go again into specifics of that part of the investigation with the ransom note, other than what we've put out there. We've been transparent. We're talking about we are working that ransom demand, but we don't want to go anything.
Do you guys? I think that they have surveillance footage of the vehicle through trees and aren't really certain exactly what it is, but they see a vehicle moving around. Do you guys agree with that? I think they have something of that nature. You know, there's people that have 24-hour cameras. They're not motion activated. And I think they've got, and I think there's even, like, I think they know the general type of vehicle it is. Because if you notice, remember those people that were pulled over early on? They seem to have a certain type of vehicle. And it makes you kind of wonder about that.
Further than that could impact any opportunities. So thank you.
Is there any additional physical evidence at the crime scene other than the technology that you guys are using for this timeline? Is there anything else that's helping you guys other than really the technology?
Well, I think I said on day one is that it's technology that's going to really help us solve this case. But no, I mean, you know, we did do a process of that scene for biological evidence, so we're still hopeful that maybe something will show up there as well.
Do you guys hear? Do you guys hear what I asked you guys? Do you guys think that they have surveillance footage out there somewhere? Maybe through the trees or somewhere where they have the type of vehicle, perhaps some, you know, a general shape, not the exact type.
Son of Republic, Richard Relas.
Agent Yankee?
Yes.
We saw on the scene, I believe it was you, taking a tripod into the home of the sister. How involved was the FBI, if at all, in creating the video? Any advice for the family on what to say to the video?
I would say we use our expertise and provide consultation and advice anytime.
Anybody there? Hello, hello, hello. Do you guys think they have a surveillance camera shot of the vehicle of some sort? My God, Jesus.
Family would ask for our advice in a kidnapping. It's ultimately.
No, I just said they don't have anything that they can identify. I've already said that part. I think that they have footage, though, through the trees of a vehicle moving at exactly the time that you would expect one to be moving around there.
The family's decision of what they put out and any messages they put out. But we were, obviously, you're all documenting every move we make. We were there.
Sometimes I feel like a teacher and I ask a question of the class and then I look down on the class and everybody's talking about what they're having for lunch. You know, I would love to have, like, when I ask a question or something, to have people interact. Maybe I need to do the polls instead. You know, maybe that's how I need to do it.
Last night in talking with the family, but every decision is theirs.
Right, that was a tripod and a ring light. And Sheriff Nanos, you've said the blood was found on the porch and on the front stoop. Just wanted to verify that.
I say porch, front stoop. It's all in that same general area by the front door.
Front of the house.
Front door, yes.
What, given her medical condition and the fact that it was her blood, as you say, what would her medical condition do with her recovery if she indeed bled out or was bleeding when she left the house?
Well, again, I've got to be careful for HIPAA, but I would say this. We know she is in need of medication, daily medication. And we also know that this is day 4 or 5, and still we don't know that she's getting her medication. That could in itself prove fatal.
And I also think that they have footage of like they see it, they just aren't able to keep tracking it because of the lack of coverage from these cameras. So they're just not sure what direction it went after it got to a certain point, etc. How could so many people say no? That's just ridiculous. I would bet you that they have some indication of a vehicle on surveillance camera in that general area. They just don't know. They can't really tell what it is. It's just lights through a tree or something. And they see it moving, and they've got that, and they can't pick it up on another camera because there isn't any that film the street, etc. I think it's really obvious that they have something like that.
No, that'll be that question. For K-Gun News, we have Craig Smith or Athena.
I'll get that for you. I'll get his name.
Craig.
K-Gun, Athena, Craig left.
Okay.
Have you been in communication with anyone who you...
No, Mile High 515. It's not a red. We don't know if it's a red SUV. We don't know if it's anything. Okay. I know that you keep thinking that you know who the guy is. He's in jail and all that shit. Just quit it. All right. It's not interesting.
believe could be the kidnapper?
You know, it goes back to what we talked
Richard
about.
Watts.
Nobody's eliminated, but we just really don't have enough to say, this is our suspect, this is our guy, we know, or our gal. We just don't know that. And it's really kind of reckless to report that someone is a suspect when they could very well be a victim. It just, I bring to you, to the media, I plead with you to be careful of what it is we put out there, because we don't have anybody here listed as a suspect, and you could actually be doing some damage to the case, but you can do some damage to that individual too. This is social media is kind of an ugly world sometimes.
And how far
I couldn't agree with them more on that last sentence. That's for sure.
out have you expanded your search, can you say?
You know, I would tell you this. Look, nothing's off the table. If we get a lead that there's somebody...
Ask Mile High who the suspect is. Apparently he drives a red SUV, everybody. Now watch, it'll turn out to be a guy who drives a red SUV. And I'll tell you that it's pure luck if that's what it... And I'll tell you what, any criminal that would use a red SUV to commit a crime is probably a dumb person.
Hey, you've got this over here or over here. We're going, and that will expand and expand and expand. I think the FBI, with their billboards, they're now planning to put those up at every state around here, at all of our neighboring states. So we use you, the national...
See that, everybody? Mile High really believes his story, man. Who is it? Who is it? Go ahead. Tell us who it is, guy. I'll give you all the credit in the world. Type in the name of the person, and I'll copy and paste it somewhere. All right? Go ahead. Who is it? Who is it, man? Who was driving the red SUV who's currently in jail right now, everybody? Apparently he was a person of interest, pulled over, but nobody... You know, they actually asked about that, and they go, no, that person had nothing to do with anything. The one that they arrested a couple weeks ago. Had nothing to do with it, they said. Now, you don't believe that, though, right? This guy's got to be involved somehow. Now, maybe it is a red SUV, and that's why they had to make sure that it was hidden and remove the camera at the front door, all right? So they removed the camera at the front door because they knew how easily it would be to identify their vehicle. I just thought it would maybe more like the make and model of the vehicle.
Media, the FBI with their national...
I'm going to come back and laugh in your face. Hey, I'll be happy if you get it right. I just think it's ludicrous when people think they know what the answer is when there's no way of knowing what the answer is. Man, I have this one person that kept emailing me over and over and over again about this one individual that, you know, had been discussed on that one night where they arrested, or not arrested, but detained 3 people or so. And they're just so certain that it's that person. And, you know, I don't know who it is, man. None of us do. If law enforcement doesn't know, how the hell would you know? That's just it, Gray. They do know, you bastard.
Outreach to affect that for us. But as far as the actual investigation, naturally the home, the scene is the primary, and we just keep spreading it out as we get more and more leads.
Court TV, Cody Thomas.
Mile High, gotcha.
Actually, my question is for Agent Yonke. You know, we saw Savannah Guthrie and her siblings, the family put out that video last night on Instagram.
Oh, that's the Court TV guy.
Addressing, you know, the tragedy that this is, but also addressing...
The guy that used my exact information about the rug and, you know, how many tiles there were and everything like that.
A ransom letter saying they're ready to talk. My question is, did
Hey, thank you, Daniel Gosen.
the FBI or any other agency help them craft that message to put out on social media?
Like I said to the previous question, we have an expertise when it comes to kidnappings. And
Where are you, Mile High? We need more information. What's the person's name, for God's sakes?
when families want advice, consultation, expertise, we will provide that. But the ultimate decisions on what they say and how they put that out rests with the family itself.
And as far as suspects, I know we haven't identified one, but what type of suspect or suspects do we think we're dealing with here?
At this time, like this.
Well, I think they're probably a violent person. You know, they're willing to take an 84-year-old woman out of their home, and they haven't been able to send us any proof of life at this point. So, yeah.
The sheriff has said there is no primary suspect identified, so it could run the gamut. So.
KPNX, Troy Hayden.
Are you actively investigating the son-in-law?
Troy Hayden. Man, does everybody remember that guy's name? Everybody? I do. And he actually got one of the post-conviction of Jodi Arias interviews, which is like a long time ago.
In this case, so there were reports earlier this week.
14 years ago.
You said you haven't eliminated everybody. Have you eliminated him or come close to it, or are you actively looking at him?
We're actively looking at everybody we come across in this case. Everybody. We would be irresponsible if we didn't talk to everybody. The Uber driver, the gardener, the pool person, whoever, everybody. It's so cliche, but everybody's still a suspect in our eyes. That's just how we look at things and think as cops. Does that mean we have a prime suspect? No, and the family's been very cooperative. They've done everything we've asked of them, and we want that relationship to continue. And sometimes people can be.
Here's what I'll tell you guys. If the Jodi Arias case was today, and I covered it the same way I did back then with the videos that I made, I would have 1 million subscribers. Literally. I was just making videos, and some of those videos have 500,000 views. They were just, but I wasn't really a YouTuber. I would just put them out as demonstrative aids. I made videos where what I did was I took all the crime scene photos, and I built the entire bathroom and bedroom area, even in the door that goes out of the bedroom that goes down the stairs. I built the whole thing, and then not only that, I took all the photographs of the tiles that had blood on them, etc., and put them into my scene as textures on the ground in the tile. And I put the shower door right where it was, and I was able to show everybody where all the different shots took place from. I was able to, I mean, it was just absolutely incredible. Like the one shot of Travis's foot while he's laying on the ground, I was able to show people right where that was because I could see it in my my animated, the 3D model of the bathroom that I had. There were so many people that had so many questions. I could answer them all. The thing is the stuff they did on Court TV back then, or all the, HLN and all that crap was horrible. I mean, if they had just moved over and used my model they would have just been kicking ass. Instead, they built these stupid sets with dummies, and it was crazy, man. If you guys ever have time, you should go watch some of those old Jodi Arias animations that I made. They were crazy.
Mean out there, and that can really harm us and harm our efforts.
Oh yeah, they would have been with the. It still had a ton of conspiracy theories. Oh, she didn't do it. She didn't do it. She didn't do it. I mean, Jodi Arias was one of the worst of the worst. You know, she is right where she needs to be. She should have got the death penalty. And what's weird about Arizona is it was 11-1 for death. One person held out. Then they have a whole nother trial. The state gets 2 bites at the apple for the penalty phase, if you can believe that. So then they had a whole nother trial, and she lost, you know, found guilty again. Or not even found, yeah, I guess. They had a whole nother trial just for the penalty phase. I'm not sure if it was like, but you're not found guilty. It's just to provide the evidence, and then the jury goes back to decide on the death penalty again. And it was 11-1 again, and at that point, the judge cannot give the death penalty, and life without parole is the maximum.
Did you find blood anywhere else in the home besides the porch?
The only...
I made some funny video regarding her artwork back then too. It was just so bogus.
DNA evidence we've got back
just trace
is
shit.
on the porch.
I mean, just
look, we prioritize things and we rush things, and those items we put out to a lab to rush it, and even then it's 2, 3, 4 days. The other items could take 10 days, 20 days, but we saw the importance of that blood. It came back to Nancy.
So it was only there, it wasn't anywhere else in the house?
I don't know that. We processed the house for biological evidence, and we've not gotten anything back.
Newsmax, Sarah Williamson.
Hi there. My question is just piggybacking off our colleagues here about how far this search has gone. When it comes to doorbell cameras, you said technology plays a critical role in this. Have you been actively door knocking the neighbours and businesses and collecting those doorbell cameras? And is there anything that has come up there, and how far is that stretched?
I can't tell you whether things have come up or not, but we have door-to-door. I think we're still doing door-to-door, not just in that neighborhood, but other neighborhoods. Just as leads come in and take us somewhere, we're going to do those things.
Okay, and just to follow up as well in regards to the video that was released by Nancy Guthrie's children last night, just to clarify, that was not coordinated with any law enforcement beforehand, and that you hadn't seen that video before it was released?
The FBI is handling all things with the ransom.
I think the answer was yes, we were there. The media was there. We can help coordinate, provide that consultation, but that is the family's decision of what they film and what they put out.
Fox 10, Justin Liu.
Agent Yonke, this one's for you. Following up on that video that was released yesterday, you said, ultimately any further action is decided on by the family. Since then, have they expressed any more interest in more efforts to try and get in contact with who is behind the ransom letter? And do you have a crisis or any sort of hostage negotiator with your team for that type of situation if it moves forward?
So the 2 parts to that question I think it's pretty clear. The family wants to be contacted. They know time is of the essence, and if those that may have Nancy are watching this, the family is ready to talk, get proof of life, because there has been no contact after that ransom note went to the media. For your second question, yes, we have crisis negotiators. That is part of our team here locally, along with the personnel we brought in from Quantico, and they will be part of it. But we're not going to go beyond that of any specifics.
Sheriff Nanos, taking down the crime scene perimeter after Monday's investigation and really opening access to that property to everyone else, was that something you would do differently looking back, knowing that federal authorities also conducted a search yesterday? Would you have kept that perimeter up, knowing that?
Yeah, hold on a second. What is this it right here? I can't remember if this was my original one.
Was last seen the camera up, and they...
Yeah, that's not the one. I have these old, I just found these old ones. I think it's this one. See, check this thing out, you guys. Imagine this.
This video will attempt to prove.
I'll just turn down the damn. I put like a voice on it because I didn't use my own voice back then. But watch this. See, this is Exhibit 162 at trial. You look at that and you go, "What the hell is that?" But see, that's a foot right there. See that right in the background, and that's the gap between the big toe, and that's him laying on his back, and his foot's way over there. And I was able to figure out if you look right here on the ground. See this? Hold on. Yeah, it's just playing now. So see on the ground, there's this little design right there. That's actually, like we called it, the squiggly mark that happened to be on a bunch of the tiles. All right. And so you'll see it here in a second. Watch this. So there was a book. Juan Martinez put out a book, and he had the actual clear version of this picture. Let's see. I think I have it in here.
Between the big toe and second toe, the camera was upside down. Even the slightest nudge of this particular camera will
So the camera was, the shot looked like that. It was upside down. This is one of the crime scene photos. So Jodi Arias, before she killed, look at that's blood coming down the side of the shoulder, and that's his head right there, the crown of his head. There's his foot. She actually took photographs while he was in the shower and then had him sit down and then shot him in the head. And then he got up out of the shower and he just kind of like crawled around, and then she got a knife and came back and killed him. And see, this is, see right there, you can see the cabinets there, right? See that? And then there's his foot again. Now it's way clear with the zipper and everything. It's crazy. You guys want to look at this for a second? It's only like 5 minutes long. So what I did was I rotated it so that the grout line is parallel to the ground, so it looks more, like if you just looked at the shot, it looks a little easier to see. And then what's interesting is in the real crime scene photos, look at that. Look how the cabinets line up, and look at the photographs over there on the wall in the background. See that? Boom, boom, boom. So now we know exactly how he was oriented in the bathroom. And then, because of that, I was able to, and look at that, I colored it, changed it, it's absolute perfect match there. It's pretty cool. And then you can see a little bit of the mirror over there on the counter. See that? And in a minute here, I'll show you, I made a 3D model of the bathroom that we're going to load in. These are actual crime scene photos that I'm lining up with the book image here. All right, but in a moment here, we then go back to, like, there's the door jamb. You can, the little door stopper. There it is right there, right by his toe. And then look on the ground. See that little squiggly mark? It's crazy. On the floor in the bathroom, there was 3 tiles lined up. See that little, I'm going to rotate it around here. That right there is the squiggly. It's just at an angle. Can you see that? That's the same exact mark. It's just rotated. You have to sort of rotate it forward a little bit. And then here's the hallway of the bathroom, and you can see the smear marks. That purple stuff on the left is blood, where the blood was. But look at that. Those squiggly marks are all lined up on those 3 tiles. But it turns out it's that one right there, tile B, that her foot was just on the outside on the next tile. See that? Now watch how this is all works out. It's really cool. So that's where her foot was, on the 3rd tile in, next to tile B. Just like that. And then, this is my 3D model of the bathroom. Look where the foot is. It's in tile number 3. Right there. Boom. The camera's right there. Now watch this. Bing, 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 bing. And then, look at that. Can I get a boom chakalaka? That shit right there would get 1 million views if that was a trial right now. There's no doubt about it. Yeah, anyways. I think that's about it. I don't know. I thought that was pretty good. You know, come on, you guys. That was... it's too bad Oops, that's not what I was going to play. I think we were still at a few more minutes over here. I have so many videos that I made. I wonder if I should start loading those up again at some point. I don't know. It's wild. I have like so many videos on that.
Resources for a missing person that we typically always do.
In a normal kidnapping case, there would be contact by now trying to discuss that. But those are the time frames we are looking at as we move forward.
Are you able to say that second deadline that was given?
I don't have that with me right now. So.
Thank you.
Sorry about that. Entertainment Tonight, Denny Directo.
Yes, my question actually is for Agent Yankee. There was a report that said the ransom came from an email that the FBI was actually looking into that IP address. Any updates on that?
Nothing that I can release. Thank you.
And then also, there's also conflicting reports about who was the last person to actually see Nancy and drive her home. We know she took an Uber to Annie's house, but can you confirm whether it was Annie or her son-in-law Tommaso who took her home that night?
I think the timeline that the sheriff provided was a family member, but
just family. We're going to go with family.
Okay.
Record TV, Vandry Piera.
Sheriff, we are for national, so we're not familiar with the area, so since that is a remote area. So my question is, why is it so hard to track a car or something suspicious that have passed through the area at that night? How difficult it is, because probably cameras around or something.
Yeah,
Hey, look at this. I just saw this one in here. Where is this? Look at that. I was like, that's Jody Arias in the bathroom. See, look how good that model is, though, of the bathroom. That's exactly what it looked like. She would have looked like a psycho in there. And then, yeah, here's another one. I use this program that I have where I can record my own motions, and I applied it to her and pretended to... Remember how she sang that song? I know this is sort of sensationalistic, but yeah, she was just a psycho. I just thought it was funny when I made that one. And this was like a sample. I was trying to make a video of the whole scene. So, because I think he actually got up from the ground and then went over to the sink and then started dripping blood into that sink. And then she attacked him while he was standing there. And see, that's when he's attacked. You know, he's shot in the head already, and then she's stabbing him or something. And I didn't do the rest of it. I just didn't have time. That's pretty crazy.
We'll get you can understand nothing to do with the kidnapping. But we cover all angles. We're not going to dismiss something until we actually know for a fact that it's one way or the other.
People Magazine, we have Danielle Walker.
So I wanted a little more clarity to follow up on his. Is there anything more you can say? Was this actually targeted or not? Do you have any?
That's why we have the FBI to look at those areas where there may have been a target. Maybe it is a kidnapping. But no, we don't have anything to rule that out or to say it is.
And as far as the ransom notes, there was a part in there about Bitcoin. Are you looking into that now, investigating?
Yes, that's part of the investigation.
Can you go and elaborate any further if you found anything or if there's any ties or any suspects tied to that Bitcoin?
There is not at this time.
Associated Press, Joe Goldendera.
Hi, Sheriff. Just to follow up to a
You're
prior...
Joe?
I'm sorry?
You're Joe?
Goldendera.
Oh, I thought you said Joe.
Yeah, there's some girls with the name Joe there, you know.
Okay.
Just to follow up to a prior question, you had said early in the investigation that authorities don't believe Nancy Guthrie was targeted. Why don't authorities think that Nancy Guthrie was targeted?
Who said that she? Who said they didn't
You had
think
said
she?
that early in the investigation.
Boy, if I said I absolutely misspoke. I've never thought she was or wasn't targeted. We've always believed that is certainly a possibility. I mean, you'd be silly not to think that. Somebody disappears in the middle of the night out of their home. You can understand where I'm coming from. But no, if I said that, obviously I misspoke, or maybe somebody misheard me. But I've never believed that she was or was not a target.
Is there anything more specific you can say about what you believe the motive to be for this kidnapping at this time?
Motive's always going to be a question, and we'll know more as we go what that motive is. But right now, my guesswork is as good as yours.
And can you
And
talk
then
a
we
little bit?
also have, the final one will be from KBOA here in Tucson, Monica Garcia.
Okay, so let's...
It's trying to be sort of like, your name's Joe, you know? And it's like, yeah, Jesus.
talk about that 5 p.m. Did you say 5 p.m. deadline today? Is that the deadline? Oh, maybe that's for the FBI.
He's feeling really good. This one went really good for him, he thought.
Can you just give us some sound on that? Because that's a big deal. That's within hours about that 5 p.m. deadline per the ransom note. And then what's supposed to happen after that?
So the ransom note that was distributed to the media did make a demand for 5 p.m. today, and if a transfer wasn't made, then I think a second demand was for next Monday. We're not going to go beyond that, but that was the ransom note the media received.
Did it indicate what would happen if they didn't meet that ransom? Did they?
We're not going to go into those specifics. Okay. Thank you.
5 p.m. Eastern, I'm sorry, I know it's not. Arizona? Just 5 p.m.
I don't.
It's 5 p.m.
And then, sorry about that, Inside Edition, Jim Murray.
Special Agent Yankee, given the fact that the FBI participated in the creation of this family video, does that suggest your belief that the author or authors...
You know, it's sort of interesting if it just said 5 p.m. And it kind of makes you wonder if the kidnappers, there might be local, if they didn't specify the time code, you know, the time zone, I mean. So if you just went, yeah, it needs to be at 5 p.m. Because they're just sort of subconsciously know that, hey, I'm in this area, you know. That's interesting. It's interesting. Now that we hear that like that, because remember how he just said, well, it's just 5 p.m. And the lady said, is it East Coast time? And then the FBI go, it's just 5 p.m. Because that's all that was said in the letter. It didn't say what time zone. So I think that is actually possibly a clue that the person is from Arizona, or we're just very, you know, like, I mean, I don't know. It sounds like they're probably from Arizona. If you're from somewhere else that doesn't have the same time zone, you wouldn't just sort of think like that unless you really sort of sat around and plotted it out. Or we're like, okay, I'm telling you the time for you in your time zone.
of that ransom note, in fact, have Nancy Guthrie?
Again.
Well, thank you, Jessica and Sazef.
And we're taking the ransom note serious, and we are following that part of the investigation.
And does the fact that there is a ransom note suggest to you that Nancy Guthrie was taken specifically because she's Savannah's mom?
There's nothing to indicate that.
Thank you guys so much for all of your questions.
Thank you.
Sheriff does have one more note about what happens next year, or what doesn't happen next.
Well, it's what happens for us is we're going to continue working. For you, though, I hope this worked out well for you. But right now, I have no plans to schedule any further press conferences.
And boy, did he take that to heart, because we haven't heard a damn thing from them in almost 3 months. Amazing. I think they need to do some kind of a press conference at some point. Just to, like, hey, you guys, you know, we're still doing something. How long have we been on here? How about you guys want to see this one video that I made? It's the gun first theory. A little too much writing and stuff, but it was pretty good. Watch this. But see, these are actual photographs that she took. You know, and this is a 3D model of it. Now watch, boom. She took that photograph just before killing him. He's seated down. I said the relative position of Jody and Travis during the end of the shower photo shoot matches up with the necessary angle. This is from 2013. Since the violence started shortly after Travis seated, and that's like here, right? Like I think it went like this. I think that's how I think she was just like that. Look how much better this was than HLN's crap that they had. And see, that's the exact angle that the bullet took through his head, just like that. Boom. So it doesn't necessarily have to have hit the brain, as Kevin Horn said initially, then said, oh, I mean, it had to have, because he had to shift it. So here is the Flores. He said, on 8/28, one single gunshot wound to the right, projectile recovered in left cheek. There's the hole, that's an actual crime scene photo. The initial report from Dr. Horn was that the gunshot wound would not have been fatal. So Horn said that it would not have been fatal. Detective Esteban Flores again. Sharp force trauma of neck and torso. Homicide. Didn't mention the gunshot at all. The wound track. The right interior fossa without gross evidence of significant intracranial hemorrhage. Wow, the brain wasn't even, bleeding in there, or intracranial bleeding. There is no gunshot wound of exit. He did serial cross sections. Just right to left and downward. Just like I have it in my video. See, that's where it entered. And that's where it went out. And that's what right there, boom, just like that. It stuck in his cheek though. Duramater is a thick, leathery substance that goes around your brain. It was intact, meaning a bullet did not penetrate it. He said that was a typo at trial after they changed their story. The duramater and phallic sebrae are intact. Multiple serial cross-sections do not reveal that there was a bullet that hit the brain. He didn't realize that he'd done a serial cross-section at trial, however. Yeah, and so in this portion right here, I think that Jodi Arias, while she's being interrogated, tells the truth on part of her story. You know, she's telling the truth to have it blend in more naturally with a lie. And you can tell by the way she's telling it. Watch this. It's really clear.
Here, on my knees, and his bathtub is right here, and I was
See, his bathtub's right, and she was
taking him here, and I was just going through the pictures, and I heard this loud ring,
But that's because you just shot him.
and I don't really remember except Travis was screaming.
See, I think that's real. Like, he probably was going, like doing
Putting my
something.
hand on his back, because he was on all four of his knees.
Yeah, he was on all four of his knees, boy. Man, what is he, I mean...
He was like on his knees like this, doing something like this or something like that.
See, I think that's totally true right there. He was on all fours doing something like this, doing something like that.
And I like, and Travis was screaming the whole time. He wasn't screaming like a girl. He was just like he was in pain, like he was like shocked, like
Right.
He wasn't really moving though. He was just staying kind of still on the floor.
Because he'd been shot at this time, right?
Yeah, but he was still alive.
See that? I think he was still alive. See, this is like she really... This is what she saw, because he was still alive after the gunshot.
He was still conscious even. Like...
Still talking.
Oh, he wasn't talking or saying much, but I could tell. He was breathing. He seemed like he was breathing calmly, I think. He wasn't like... He was just there. Earlier remembrance.
See that? Isn't that crazy? I mean, aren't they? This is just so good. Even now. Look at this. That's just like Guthrie's passive blood drops right here. These ones. As he moves across. The scale was put back over the top of the blood, though. See the coughing right there? The misting? Here, do that again. There, watch this. See right there? That's from Travis standing at the sink. And he's dripping blood out of his nasal cavity from the gunshot wound and mouth. And you can see how it even, right there is when he's approaching probably. Could be when he's pulling back. But then right here, he leans forward and coughs. And that's why you get this finer pattern over here. You see that? Now this is how they changed their story later. They said, well, the gunshot had to have been after the stabbing. Because look, the bullet shell is on top of the blood, and it's just absolute garbage. That bullet shell, there was so much blood all over the ground. There was so much movement. Even when the friends came over to find him, anybody could have kicked the shell. There was so much activity going on. It doesn't mean a damn thing, and it really doesn't. And so, this part here, I didn't even know what the hell I was... I think I came up with just stuff like, oh, it must have been... It's a weak piece of... It is weak, though. So, anyways. That's basically it. It's pretty cool, though, isn't it? Yeah, I thought that one was pretty good. At sync test. Yeah, I've just had, there's so many. I have a place where I stored a whole bunch of the videos, but I don't know. I don't know where the hell they are. Well, I think that's going to do it, you guys. Thank you all for being here and making a successful night. I don't know if how much damage we did in fixing yesterday, but yesterday was just, man, that was brutal. So we have Suz F, then we have Cheryl Bullock, Alley Cake, Wild Bill Wassman, 1, 2 in a row there, and then we had Skeeter, and so everybody put out some positive vibes for Wild Bill, get him the hell out of that hospital, and Skeeter, and then Wild Bill again, and then Mike Spam, my Spam, I don't know what that is. Then Skeeters, then Karen, Wild Bill Wassman again, then Kami, Alley Cake, Karen, Wild Bill Wassman, Skeeta, Lisa Belson, 8 months, and then she gifted 10 memberships. Then Lisa Valenzuela, 38 months. Thank you guys. Hey yama, hoo. Hey yama, hoo. All right, then Alley Cake, Karen, Eagle, Stars and Stripes, gifted one. Then Alley Cake, then Bakalula, 9 months of Megazoid. And then they said they dumped, I don't know, somehow there was the $67 in there, but somehow it didn't show up, or I don't know, maybe it'll show up later. And then Eagle Stars and Stripe gifted 1, and then Lisa Belson gifted 5. Then we had Suz F again with the membership, then Alley Cake, then Karen, then Jean Taggart, then Lisa Belson gifted 5 more, then Alley Cake, Bakalula gifted 10, then I gifted 5, and Patriot Revolution gifted 5, then Lisa Valenzuela, then Patriot Revolution gifted 5 more. Thank you, guys. And then I gifted 5 again, and then Richard Watts, Daniel Gosen, and Jim Lawn. And then also, don't forget, we had Sandy Shirley on PayPal, and then also Marty's Bar and Grill with some coffee. All right. Anyways, I don't know, I'd like to be able to get back into discussing this case, but it's like, where do you go, man? I mean, it's interesting listening to those press conferences again, right? I mean, you hear all the different things that they were doing and looking at, and then we've just heard absolutely nothing since then. Man, if I was a governor, I'd like almost force them to do something. I guess you can't really. Sheriffs are sort of like their own little deal. He's got, well, he said it in here before. He's got Crohn's, and then he was dehydrated, and then he had a lack of electrolytes in his system, and then he had to go to the hospital, and they're just trying to build his electrolytes back up and get his kidneys working again the way they should, etc. I guess apparently every month or so, 2 months, he has to go back in and get things, because I guess the Crohn's makes it so that you don't get enough minerals or whatever the hell it's called in your system, the electrolytes and whatnot. So he has to get that kind of replenished and sort of revitalized again to keep his kidneys working well. He's still out there catching bass, though, I can tell you that. All right, guys. Well, thank you guys so much, very much, for your generosity tonight. Hopefully tomorrow we can just keep going. You know, it's, man, I was just really sort of in shock after yesterday. I was just like, whoa, man, how is that even a thing? I think it was just the topic. And by the way, I did keep looking into that, the case of the, I think, let's see, hold on a second. It was the FSU students that were killed by Hisham Abu Gharbi. So it was kind of cool. I went out and mapped after the show was over. I spent like an hour or so mapping it all out. It's crazy. They have him on surveillance camera driving. This is after they probably already removed the bodies. He removed the bodies from the apartment he drove from. He was here, and then here. So he's driving this direction. And then they don't have him on a whole bunch of different cameras, but they have him number 4. He made it to here. He was on this bridge going across. So obviously he kind of just came down and got onto this bridge. So they have him right there. These are those automatic plate readers. So he's right there. And then they have him driving right on this street. And they describe it really well. It's crazy. So 7 is over here. So he drove like that, made it to number 7. And then 8. After coming around, he drove over this little bridge. And then he made it over here to this fire station. What happened? What am I looking at? What am I looking at? What am I looking at? Patriot Revolution. What happened? Oh. Look at. Oh. Yeah, now look at how, watch how weird this is though, you guys. Check this thing out. They actually go out of their way to mention this. He makes it to right here at this fire station and he pulls in, and then he exits the fire station heading this direction. South, okay? But check it out. He didn't make it to this camera. This building here should have filmed him driving by, and he did not make it there. So that means he either went like this or, you know, went into this area. And it's, yeah, man, that's crazy. So, but yeah, so I don't know what the hell he was doing right there. I think that's a little weird that he drives into there and he doesn't make it to this intersection right there. So either from there he might have come into there. What would he be doing though? And then a little bit later, so that was 10 going southbound, and then 11, he does not make it past there, right? Then number 12, he's back at the fire station again. So we don't know where the hell he was over here. He's back at the fire station. Then 13, he is going onto this bridge. 14, after going over the bridge, he drove all the way up and he's driving by this right here. And then there's a roundabout that's mentioned a couple times right there. So that's number 6 goes to the roundabout too on the way in. There's a roundabout and then he's going out of the area. And then 16, that almost matches, you know, you can see how he would have got there. He's right there. And then 17, he's back over here again. And then 18, I wonder if he used that area to cut the bodies up and put them into bags. And on the way back, he disposed of them. I don't know, man. Jeez. And then he's all the way back to his hotel over there. Pretty cool, man, isn't it? oh, look it. All right, anyways, that's what I was working on. I might still kind of try to get that all worked out. It's pretty interesting. Well, this Saturday night. Hold on a second. Let me just throw a little bit something in there. It was students murdered. Yeah, I think it's in this document right here. Look at all these crazy internet searches he did. That was lower down in the article. I think all of these. It said April 11th, fire starter, charcoal. Or I guess he bought those. And then down here, he asked ChatGPT, can a VIN number on a car be changed? Can you keep a gun at home without a license? So can I keep one at home legally if I don't have a license? Purchase confirmation showed a fake beard shipped from Amazon. Wow. I mean, this guy is like an idiot. Phone is back in Avalon. Let's see. Hisham Salam parks at the apartment. So, I mean, I could put all of this in there. You know, we have all these different time frames. I could come up with like this really clear thing. The phone was on Howard Franklin Bridge at 1:27. Yeah, so what date is this? Hold on. These are the ones that I was doing. I filled in. Huh. So that might be a different time, a different date. I'm gonna have to go get that all figured out. But man, that one's crazy. Looney Tune stuff. All right, guys, thanks for being here. We'll see you tomorrow. And who knows what tomorrow will bring. Thank you very much for watching. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. And make sure I do live streams every night, you guys. All right? Every single night. Ah, he didn't have the time to grow it, Timothy.
Huh?
Thank you for watching Gray Hughes Investigates on YouTube, where we cover true crime using logic, reason, and common sense, something that isn't common anymore. Thank you very much for watching, and as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. And thank you, Paulette Leonard, 63 months as a Megazoid. That's 5 years and 3 months from what she would consider pure hell on YouTube.
Bye. Correct.
Evil can never be dead enough.
And some of you, you make shit up.